Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. It's Friday. And there's actually a new Coffee with Curmudgeons on Friday. And it's not on Sunday. And it's actually really us here. Me and Jason Allen.
Why, hello.
Oh, that's right. Oh, look
What?
at that.
Oh.
Your camera.
Huh?
You know why?
What?
Because on Sundays you're over here.
Oh, yeah. Good
You're
call.
right there.
Good call. Good
I can
call.
fix that.
Well,
I can't fix that.
How about if
I can't fix that.
I was kind of like, hi. Oh. That's right, yeah. Because we have the, for the Sunday sports show, I'm up in a little box. I kind of like it. It's kind of cool. It reminds me of something like you'd see on ESPN, you know, where they break away to other people. That's like, ooh, that looks cool.
I know.
So anyway,
I know.
hello, everybody. Welcome to Friday.
That's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, we put you because Jay-Z's there and then your box is there. We need to get you a bigger box.
I need a bigger box.
Maybe this week. We doing that show this week? Sports?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
You like it?
I like it.
You guys like it.
I mean, there's really no one I can talk sports with.
Right.
So when Jay-Z starts talking sports, well, no. I mean, we talk some sports here. But, I get chomping at the bit, because I've got things to say about sports.
Yeah, you guys got to, promote it, especially the football side. And I don't mean the football, I mean the football.
The football.
Because you guys, talk about American football.
Yeah.
A lot.
American football. Yeah.
But there's basketball and stuff, too.
Oh, there's a lot of different stuff. There's what the rest of the world calls football and we call soccer. And, of course, and Major League Baseball's ramping up,
So just if you're getting this now and you can't get enough of us later, tune in a couple days on Sunday. Check the Twitter and the Facebook.
Right.
When is it? Sunday at...
Usually it's around Sunday, 6 or 7.
I think it was 7, yeah.
We're not like a real hard...
6.
We're not a real hard and fast thing. It's ish.
It's usually safe to say 7-ish.
Yeah.
We're getting closer. We're getting better at it.
Yeah.
There's this with technical stuff with the Skype and the box and everything.
Right. Well, it's a little different.
Why it doesn't.
Yeah.
But we're getting closer. It'll get closer.
Right.
I need to get you. We need to make. Maybe we'll make a bigger box.
Ooh, bigger box.
Yeah. Because you're kind of like this.
I know, but do you really need to?
Literally about like that.
Do you really need to see this face bigger?
Yeah.
It might scare people off.
We could do a CGI graphic.
Oh, well, if you could make it look better, sure. I'm all in favor. You could make me like one of those Avatar guys,
Oh yeah,
I could do that.
Oh, that would be cool.
That would be cool.
Wow. You know what I like? Muppet.
I would love to be a Muppet. I would love to be a Muppet. I have you ever thought, if you were a Muppet, what sort of Muppet would you be? You know how people say, if you were a tree, what sort of tree would you be?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm somewhere in between Beaker and the Swedish Chef. That would be my
Those are good.
My thing.
Are those your favorite Muppets?
No, my favorite Muppet is actually
Welcome to our favorite Muppets. We're talking Muppets on Coffee with Curmudgeons.
Hi. Welcome to Muppet Talk. I'm Jason.
Yeah.
No, my favorite Muppet is Pepe the Shrimp.
Oh, yeah.
I love Pepe the Shrimp. And the Big Bear guy.
He's Fozzie. Is that Fozzie?
No. There's just a big bear.
Oh.
And I love their little Christmas special, because he's working with Nathan Lane in the TSA place where they're pulling people over. And Nathan Lane's talking about how, when he was a kid, he didn't get a bike. And his little thing went ring-a-ding-ding. And the bear in the background goes, ring-a-ding-ding. And it gets me going.
Isn't there... you would... There's definitely, the Muppets. There's Kermit. There's Miss Piggy. There's the trash
Fozzie, Gonzo, the Swedish Chef, Beaker, Dr. Bunsen.
Trash can guy.
Oh, you mean like Sesame Street?
Yeah.
Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar.
Big Bird.
Big Bird. Or Bert and Ernie.
Bert and Ernie.
Right. There's all the Muppets you know. If you know the Muppets, you know about 20 different characters. Right? Swedish Chef, like you said.
Yeah.
But isn't there always in the Muppet... especially the Muppet Show, it's Sesame Street too.
Yeah.
There'd just be that weird background Muppet.
Oh, yeah.
Character actor Muppet.
Yeah.
They'd be like, who is that? does that have a name? Like you're talking about this bear
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Like I remember there's a.
It's like Frank or so. It's just like some real
There's
normal
like a
name.
Muppet. And these were like the full size Muppets. Like somebody was actually in a suit.
Yeah.
Like it'd be the wide shot in the studio, and there it's a giant, but it's actually a person inside. They had a few of those, like Big Bird, Big Bird it is.
Snuffleupagus.
Is that the guy I'm thinking of?
Snuffleupagus.
There was like some giant
like elephant sort of thing.
No, not elephant. No, I get what you're saying. That was some like ogre monster dude.
Yes, I know. And
it would just like be like they'd be like, and all of a sudden here he is in the background. It's like, anybody see this guy right here?
Right.
And everybody's like, no, we're good.
Right. Yeah. So some of my favorite ones were the ones that were just kind of they're outliers, right? Like the band, right? Dr. Teeth and the
band.
Electric Mayhem. I love those guys. And one of my favorites is New Zealand.
Dr. Teeth. And Animal played the drums.
And Animal played drums. Yeah.
That was cool. And then the sax player in the band.
It was Floyd, right?
I can't remember his name.
Floyd and
I just call
Janice.
him Gatto Barberi because he looks. They I swear they patterned him after jazz saxophonist.
Oh yeah,
Gatto Barberi. Like if you see like the pictures, he wore a fedora and like sunglasses. You know, I mean, I don't know how much. You know, it's kind of like the modern, not necessarily soft jazz, but more the kind of mainstream jazz back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Kind of like with when you had Chuck Mangione and all that stuff, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
His big, I think one of the best ones, if you want to check, he had some other good ones too, but one of the best ones I think was his jazz hit was Europa, the Santana instrumental.
Yes.
Da, 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 da. He's got these, think of that on a sexy tenor sax. That's Gatto's Europa.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so here's a hint, Jason.
Okay.
When you're I don't know, with a lady. By the way, happy International Women's Day.
Gotta put that plug in there. Happy International Women's Day.
Yeah. Yeah. But it could be anyone. It doesn't have to be a lady.
When you're with the ladies.
When you're with someone that you'd like to be with.
Sure. Yes.
Or get with it.
Right. Get jiggy
put on
with
the
it.
Gatto Europa.
Ooh. Is that the go-to?
He milks it so just on the sax, you know.
Yeah.
It's just sexy sax.
Ooh.
You know when the sax gets sexy.
Yeah. So you get like
when the sax gets sexy, that's when the sex gets happening.
There's the motto. There's a bumper. That's a bumper sticker right there. That's beautiful.
Happy International Women's Day.
So do you like slip it into like in the middle of like
slip it in? Wait, what?
No. I mean like because you get your mixtape, right? I gotta qualify this.
Wait a minute. Thank you, Henry Rollins. Thank you, Black Flag.
Now, I'm thinking of
that's what happens in this date situation, right? Because you put on Doc Normal would be putting on I don't know, Smoking Jacket.
Oh, the Fez, the pipe, right?
Yes.
Oh
yeah, right here.
Yes.
You can play my date, Jason. How
about some Europa?
Darling, I've made a very special mixtape for us. And then I put it on, and it's like, da 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 da.
Right.
And then it's like, then she'd go, this is nice, but I really like Henry Rollins and Black Flag.
Right.
Do you have Slip It In?
Do you have any Alice Cooper? Can you do that? No, I was thinking mixtape though, because you got like Marvin Gaye. You got to put in the middle of like slip it in with some Marvin Gaye, you know, and some really maybe some Teddy Pendergrast, you know.
Oh God, you know what happened earlier in the week during maybe Fat Tuesday or whatever.
Oh yes.
All the great duets. It started with like it's Fat Tuesday.
Yeah.
Go to YouTube, just watch music.
Yeah.
That's what the kids do. It's like remember this? You do Google it and there it is, right?
Sure.
Forget about Spotify, man. You got your mixtape right there on YouTube. So it's like, what is it? Fat Tuesday?
Fat Tuesday.
Like, I say to myself, what are all the great Aaron Neville, duets.
Linda Ronstadt. I don't know why, but I know I love you.
Oh my God.
Let me be.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. All I need to know. I love that.
That's a pretty good Aaron Neville.
Hey, I can take
He
him.
duetted with everyone.
Back in the early 90s, right? That was his shtick, right? He went around and he did Linda Ronstadt for a couple.
Hi, I'm Aaron Neville. Do you want to duet with me?
Right. Come sing with me.
Come sing with me. You know what but yeah, I didn't even remember because it's just wiped from my mind. It's like I forgot like that song.
Yeah.
I remember. And I forgot it was Linda Ronstadt. And the thing is then you go down the rat hole of, well, Linda Ronstadt duetted with everybody back in the 80s, 90s.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Because she, because we haven't done this show in a while, what we're talking about. We're having like lots of, like, what was that, 2016? We're having lots of sad folks.
Yeah.
We're having lots of deaths.
Yeah.
People today, well, it wasn't today, but today we found out that Jan Michael Vincent died. Yeah.
I did not know that. This is the first time I've... Jan Michael Vincent.
Yeah.
Airwolf.
Oh. And Hooper.
He
was in Hooper with Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
Which that was a good... But anyway...
Oh, wow.
But there was a lot of musical... Peter Tork was the
of course, the Monkees,
from the Monkees. Died like a week or two ago. The one that I saw and totally went past and I forgot about missing, James Ingram.
Yes. Yeah,
James Ingram. That was like January-ish or whatever. And that was like, what was it? Linda Ronstadt. Somewhere out there. James Ingram. It's like the great duets.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron Neville's right there with the great duets.
Yeah. Aaron Neville.
And who else is... I'm thinking of guys right now.
Okay.
Who else of the great duets?
Mm-hmm.
You know them, you love them.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was. Oh, it was On My Own. It was Michael McDonald. That was horrible.
Michael
and
McDonald.
Patti LaBelle.
Yes.
Remember that one?
Yes.
Oh, the video's classic. See, we can't really
on
play.
My own,
yes, exactly.
I will be. Yeah, I love it.
And it's like in the video, they can't even be together. They're in two separate places.
Right.
She's in like
walking in the city, right?
No, she's into like Brooklyn, walking down the Brooklyn Bridge. She's in New York, right?
Yeah.
And this is like Patti LaBelle, right?
Yes.
And she's like tearing it up. This was like the 80s. This was the MTV VH1.
Right.
And it's split screen. It's like her singing on Brooklyn Bridge. And here's Michael McDonald out like in San Diego or wherever her most of or whatever beach it is.
Yeah.
Walking around barefoot on the beach,
Those little metal detectors.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I just found a quarter. Yeah.
At one point when they first show them, like he's at the beach house, staring out at the beach, singing at the screen door. And she's singing, I can't remember, she's like singing at a sausage stand or something in New York before she walks across the Brooklyn Bridge. That was actually kind of impressive because then at the end they cut to her and they do like that aerial shot and it's like, the lady in the fur coat is singing is Patti LaBelle.
Right,
yeah. But he's like singing and it's split screen and you're like, did they even know they were going to do a music video? At one point he kind of walks out of the camera of the split screen like on the other side and it doesn't even move. It's like, hey, come back. Hey, we got a duet there. Where'd you go?
That's the 80s.
But there's that one. There's so what so you go down this path of what are the great duets?
Yeah.
It's like the 80s, it's the VH1, the 80s, the 90s, the VH1. Yeah. One of my favorites, right there, pulled it right up. Bryan Adams.
Oh.
And Tina Turner.
Oh.
What was that one? It's not What's Love Got to Do with It?
No.
It's What About Love? Something like that. What About Love? Something. And it's a Bryan Adams tune.
Yeah.
And and the video was her live MTV concert. So then you hear the guitar, and here comes Bryan Adams. Because remember Bryan Adams.
That's right.
Bryan Adams, like, you know, a poor man's Bon Jovi.
Well, he's the Canadian Bon Jovi. Yeah.
He's kind of like if Bon Jovi and John Mellencamp or John Cougar Mellencamp had a kid together or something.
Ooh, that is interesting. If they did like a little chimera thing, here comes, you know, Bryan Adams.
I don't hate Bryan Adams.
Right. Bryan Adams. Yeah.
But anyway, I had to watch that one too.
Oh, you got to.
That's a good one. See, we can talk about it. Love to play them for you, but then we get copyright strikes on the YouTube.
But you got to go back before. I mean, there's even a couple cool things in the middle to late 70s, right? You had Elton John and Kiki D.
Oh, yeah. That was wow, that was back in the day.
76, I think.
Okay, so the when I was watching it with a friend, then it was like, remember the Donna Summer, Barbara Streisand? I'm like, no, I do not.
No.
Yep, it's out there.
Really?
Yep.
That is a powerhouse duo. How did that not get more press?
Yeah. It was...
Babs and Donna doing I don't know. Wow. I got to see that.
Yeah, it was... I can't remember. I was going to make a joke, but I wasn't sure if it was appropriate. I'm having a problem with
What do you mean, on International Women's Day?
No. I was going to try to... I was going to try to mash up Bad Girls with Yentl, and I was like, not, you know, it might be offensive.
Bad Girls, Papa, can you hear me?
Yeah. What is it? What was it? It's kind of a disco-y, because it was disco, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. What was that thing called?
We need more duets today.
No More Tears was what it was called. No More Tears. Video's up there. But what's that with Bryan Adams? I gotta find this one.
Bryan Adams, Tina Turner.
Adams.
That sounds so familiar, and I'm trying to get.
I'll tell you what it is. Tina Turner.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my head.
Relationship.
Oh.
Hey now.
Oh, Bryan.
It's Only Love.
And
if when your feeling is ended, there ain't no use pretending. Don't you worry, it's only love.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Right.
That was Tina Turner, not Bryan Adams.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
And if your life ain't worth living, and you're ready to give in, it's one of those old like Bon Jovi, John Cougar. Is it Cougar or Mellencamp? John Mellencamp. He always changes his name every few years. And then Bryan Adams.
Yep.
Maybe Billy Squier. I don't know. But they kind of have that riff guitar rock. Just kind of backbeat.
Yeah.
Not offending anyone. Just kind of like, hey, when your feeling is ended, there ain't no use pretending. Don't you worry. It's only love.
It's only love.
The power chords.
I'm still rapping. I never put it together, but you are absolutely right. Bryan Adams is the Canadian Bon Jovi. I never thought about that.
I don't hate those songs, actually.
No.
I'll make fun of them, but
yeah, as far as songwriting, he's a good songwriter. Not many people know this, and I'm going to go into the weeds here, like really quick. Just a quick anecdote is I bet people didn't know even he did write a Kiss song.
No,
Bryan Adams, 1982, "Rock and Roll Hell" with Gene Simmons off the Creatures of the Night album. Bryan Adams.
When was that?
1982.
Well, that's smack dab in the
in the middle of it.
Like when he's coming up,
Yeah.
There's a lot of good little songwriting things.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know. Just go to YouTube. Just what I mean, Linda Ronstadt again. Tons and tons of that. And I was trying to think of other things. I don't think I got to the Peter Cetera yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Peter Cetera and Cher.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah. I think it's called Chances Are.
Huh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It is. Peter Cetera, Cher, Chances Are.
Peter Cetera and Amy Grant. The Next Time I Fall. That was one it was a big...
Of course, he had that real thin, reedy voice, too, right?
After All.
Next time. I can't even do
After
that.
All. Cher, Peter Cetera. I don't remember that one.
After All. Yeah.
I don't remember. I'm going to have to go check that one out. I don't remember that one.
After All. Yeah.
Peter Cetera is 74 years old.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. I wish he would make amends and just at least bury the hatchet with Chicago.
Yeah, no kidding.
But he won't. There was kind of a minor story about him when he came here to a local casino in the area.
Oh, really?
And he played a set, and evidently he got angry with somebody because they dared to ask him a question about Chicago, and he will not talk about anything to do with Chicago. And I guess he got very he got very perturbed.
So what you're trying to tell me, Jason, is you pissed off Peter Satara at the Grand Ron Casino.
I'm not going to confirm or deny that Peter Satara, but we have.
Hey, do you do? Hi, my name's Jason. Do you do like 25 or 64? Hey.
Right.
Hey.
You know what? It's like, hey, Peter Satara, Chicago. Hey. What's up with that? Well, next thing you know, I'm getting shoes thrown at me, and someone's throwing buffet things, and it's devolving into some sort of mid '80s power pop scrum, and but no. But
Peter Satara, I've been searching so long for...
Come on, Pete. Yeah. Come on, Pete.
Why is this guitar in my butt now?
Right. Right. Hey, does this casino have a proctologist around? I mean, no. But
you were telling me about that. There was like some documentary that I did not watch. Wasn't it you like there was a documentary about Chicago and
Netflix, yes.
And it's probably there. One thing I like about Netflix is it appears that because they rotate out the movies and all that stuff. But it appears that they keep the documentaries on there.
They do.
For a long time.
They do,
so it's probably still there.
Yeah.
I got to look that up. I did not. I was going to watch it. You mentioned it once.
Yeah, it is an interesting... Chicago's one of those bands where you hear some of the songs, but they're kind of a
Chicago band.
Except for Satara, it's kind of a faceless band, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you really don't know the members. You know the sound. You know the songs, which I guess some of the best bands are that way.
Of course, it's a faceless band when half the guys have like trumpets and trombones and stuff in their face. It's like, who is that guy?
That's true.
Anyway.
But it was an interesting documentary in the fact that Satara absolutely refused to have anything to do with the documentary. Anything to do with anyone in Chicago, won't even talk about his time in Chicago, and he won't even admit that he's ever been to Chicago.
I see nothing, I hear nothing.
He is the Sergeant Schultz of the rock world. Yeah, but he would, you get the
Saturday in the park. Don't hit me.
It must have been a city that wasn't Chicago.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know the man personally. He may be salt of the earth. He may be a sweet guy, but the impression I got that he was very difficult to work with.
I had one of my girlfriends once.
Mm-hmm. Once upon a time.
Went to. She grew up in L.A.
Ah.
She went to the high school. And if you grow up in L.A. and you go to these high schools or whatever, you often might go to a high school where famous people, Hollywood people, may have come out of.
Sure.
Well, one of the people that was famous I don't know if it was like L.A. high school. I don't know what the high school was. It was something like that.
Yeah.
So it turns out at their prom or whatever, what is the big thing they do? Or
it's got to be prom.
Not graduation, maybe prom or whatever.
Yeah, it's got to be prom.
Peter Satara played there because he was alumni of this high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
She was like, yeah, it was cool. The one time we went to a thing and it was Peter Satara. It was like, really? Wow.
You only see that in the movies, where you see some famous person playing a prom,
But it's kind of if we would have grown up in L.A. and gone to whatever those high schools are, Beverly Hills High School or whatever those places. I had another. I can confirm
BHHS.
Yeah, I had another friend who went down there and was a professional musician and an accompanist. For singers. I mean, that's what he does. He's a professional musician. And so he worked a lot out of like UCLA and all that. And he worked at a high school as an accompanist, same thing down there in LA. Yeah. And he would tell me like, oh yeah, one of the kids who graduated is now like the #1 Bollywood star or whatever. I mean, it was like really like all these like, it was like, oh yeah, one of my students is now on this TV show or whatever, because it's LA, it's Hollywood.
Yeah,
that's what they do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah. I wonder how many kids that have grown up to have stories that, like, I went to school with that guy, or I went.
Well, both those people tell stories like that.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that he worked in that place and she actually had gone to school there.
Yeah.
And be like, oh yeah, so and so went to that school, and you know.
I wonder if when Satira was doing the prom, did he do any duets that night? That would have been interesting.
I know.
Pull up maybe the science teacher or something they're going to do After All. Or...
I think, yeah.
I don't know. But I think the world today, we need
like
more duets.
New Orleans high school, and it's like, not Aaron Neville again.
Right. You know, the funny thing about Aaron Neville is he don't need to be invited. He'll just show up. He'll crash people's, you know, the proms and stuff. It's like, and everyone, oh, God, here comes Aaron again, you know. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys. It's like, you know, it was always, Twitter. I was just seeing what was up with the with Aaron Neville. Like, I don't even know. But it is right here.
Aaron Neville. I love Aaron Neville. Yeah, he's been known to crash parties.
Sorry, I was just looking up to how old is he? 78 years old.
Aaron Neville is 78 years old?
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow. The man does not look 78.
Okay, here's one.
Okay.
How old do you think Linda Ronstadt is? I'm just looking this up on Wikipedia. It could be wrong, but mostly.
Well, she's got to be in her 70s.
72.
Yeah.
She was born in Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah. Arizona.
Yeah. Yeah, Aaron Neville, like, it was always like that thing. It was like, that's a very big burly guy. Yes, is. You know, he'd have that voice, that falsetto voice, and you go.
And he does not match it
was kind of like when they do an interview with Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be like, oh, that's a very big burly man who's going to knock you out.
Yeah.
And like, I'm Mike Tyson. It's like, well,
right.
This doesn't add up.
And he also had the kind of I wouldn't say a lisp, but he had a very very unique and distinct speech pattern. And you're right. There are people that their voices just do not match what they look like. You know, like you're like, oh my gosh, Mike Tyson, he's the baddest man on the planet. I hit him so hard that his pancreas literally threw out of the ear. You know, it's like, wow, I didn't know Mike sounded like that. Or Aaron Neville. I mean, the guy's like, what, 6'2", 6'3". He's a big, burly man. He looks like, you know, he eats crowbars. You know, like, hey, Jason, come on over here. I want you to meet Aaron. Aaron, how you doing? Hi, I'm doing good. How are you? You know, it's like, I
Linda Ronstadt, I remember this. She was in a relationship with Governor Jerry Brown in the late 70s.
Really?
Then followed that up with dating Jim Carrey in the early 80s, and then engaged to George Lucas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
What? I don't remember that.
Evidently, he wanted to be taken to a blue bayou on some other planet.
Yeah. I liked her early stuff. Oh, shit. Ooh.
I love her early stuff with Stone Pony.
In August 2013, Ronstadt revealed that she has Parkinson's disease. Yeah. Oh, man. She has not
been seen in public. In fact, she won an award.
That's what I was kind of...
And did not show... She's very conscious about that, and she does not go out in public anymore. It is sad,
That's sad.
I love her voice.
You know who wrote... I believe it was her first hit. This came up in the... Welcome to Talking the Old People and Looking Through the Obituaries with the Curmudgeons.
Right.
No, what I didn't know,
yeah,
I had known like he was a songwriter, but you know when Peter Tork died and the Monkees, the two remaining members, because Davy Jones suddenly died a few years back.
Mickey Dolenz.
Mickey Dolenz.
And of course Nesmith died years ago, right?
No. Mike Nesmith is
he still alive?
Yes. Oh,
Nesmith is still with us.
Yes. Oh, yes. He actually tweeted his condolences.
Oh.
Yeah, they're the two remaining members.
He's just so quiet that, you know. Well, hey, didn't he die back in 72? No.
But Nesmith was a songwriter.
Yes.
And, you know, when I was looking this stuff up, what I didn't know is Linda Ronstadt's one, I think, maybe her first hit, because she was with Stone, this band called Stone Pony.
Different drum, right?
Different drum. Guess who wrote it? Mike Nesmith wrote different drum. He penned different drums.
I learned stuff. That's
Yeah,
that's a really,
me too. I was like, oh wait, Mike, because Peter Tork had written maybe a biography or something, autobiography. When he died, there was a Rolling Stone put out a interview that they had with him like back in 2013 or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's a long interview. Guy was fascinating. Peter Tork was the epitome of the 60s hippie scene in the Valley. He had a house down there. He was hobnobbing with everybody. Crosby, Stills, Linda Ron.
Oh, yeah.
He's kind of vague about his relationship with Linda Ronstadt, other than, we were very close friends.
Yeah.
Make it that what you...
Right.
But it was like, I know Linda, Frank Zappa, Laurel Canyon. Mm-hmm. I mean, the hotbed in the late 60s of that whole folk music, hippie music down in Laurel Canyon. And I know I've seen some Frank Zappa. There's a lot of documentary. Like, Frank did a lot of filming in addition to music. And, of course, he did, like, a weird movie, 200 Motels and all that. But there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that he released in the 80s before he died on video, which I have some. And there's stuff where they're shopping down there and they run into, like, Linda Ronstadt or whatever. Classic Linda Ronstadt.
Yeah.
Like, how old was she? 20, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe not even. I think she got her start, like, young when she was a teenager.
She was
I think so.
I remember seeing a thing on her. I think she was 17 when she first started with Stone Pony, and very young.
Here's her Wikipedia page that I could just look at.
Yeah.
But I think
I think my favorite Linda Ronstadt
at age 14.
14. Oh my gosh.
Ronstadt formed a folk rock trio. I knew she was a teenager with her brother Peter and sister Gretchen at age 14.
What's your favorite Linda Ronstadt tune?
I like Different Drum.
Yeah.
I love You Know Good.
Good. Yeah.
Which then Van Halen did a pretty righteous cover of that song.
Right.
Was that Van Halen
Van
2?
Halen 2. First song right out of the gate. Side one.
Was a good one.
Track one. Yeah. Favorite Linda Ronstadt, just because of her the vocals of it, Blue Bayou.
Yeah, I do like that one. I remember when that was a hit.
Because there's just such a vocal range on that song, and just, wow.
Here we go. Ronstadt provided the vocals for some commercials during the period, including one for Remington Electric Razors, in which a multi-track Ronstadt and Frank Zappa claimed that the electric razor cleans you, thrills you, may even keep you from getting busted. What?
That's Frank.
Yeah. No, I knew that because it was the reason is go look this Peter Tork interview with Rolling Stone, because he talks about this, just the scene and like people crashing like the Stones came and they crashed at his place.
That is so interesting.
Even the Beatles.
Right.
Yeah. And of course what I found when he died is Jimi Hendrix first start of his American tour, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, was to open for the Monkees.
That's right.
It didn't last long.
That's right.
It lasted like 2 weeks, all of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's not because the Monkees or Hendrix hated each other. They actually liked each other. And there's a whole bunch. There's pictures, if you go find them on the internet, of Hendrix and Peter Tork hanging out. And Tork's like in his whole hippie thing, and Hendrix is like in his whole experience thing. And they're like, they hung out with the Monkees. They had a good time.
Yeah.
But someone finally said, the Jimi Hendrix Experience and the Monkees aren't quite working out. You got a guy out there purple hazing, throwing lighter fluid and burning and playing with his teeth, and you got a bunch of 12-year-old kids who want to see Davey and Mickey and Peter Tork and Mike.
I will say that
play I'm a Believer or whatever,
Right, yeah. Purple Haze and Pleasant Valley Sunday probably just don't, Last Train to Clarksville.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't mesh well with All Along the Watchtower.
Right.
But
if you had a time machine and could dial in your time machine right this moment, Jason, we could dial in and we could go, wouldn't that be one of them? Let's go down to because they were on the East Coast. They dropped, they didn't even make it out the West Coast. Hendrix Experience did.
It's like right after Monterey, right? Because that was Hendrix's first.
It was out right after Monterey.
Yeah.
Not sure where Woodstock fits in on that. I guess later.
60. Well, let's see, Monterey was what, 67, 66, and of course Woodstock.
I know
69.
who would know. Who, if he's listening right now, will text us in a minute.
Yeah.
But
Steven, we need your input. Steven, paging Steven.
Our fact checker.
That's right.
And he doesn't have to use the internet.
Oh, that's
But it was it was like right after, I think Monterey was the first thing, and then they got the tour put together with the Monkees. Lasted for a couple of weeks until they finally said, we need to all go our separate ways here because of the Monkees music and because literally the Monkees, were playing. They were huge. They were playing to packed houses, but you're talking teeny boppers.
Yeah,
literally teeny. I mean, I was a little tyke, and I knew who the Monkees were.
Sure. When you were 11, 12 years old.
They were on Saturday. They played those shows on Saturday when I was a kid.
I can't believe I'm about ready to say this, but I think the Monkees at 11 or 12, they are your gateway drug into rock and roll.
Yeah.
They're safe.
And it's funny. This Peter Tork article was very interesting because he got into the whole thing, and he was like, yeah, they said we were a manufactured band, but I was actually a street musician, folk artist, and Mike Nesmith had already penned a hit with the Linda Ronstadt Stone Pony. He's different.
I think it was only Davy Jones that they had to teach.
No, but Davy Jones was the star of Oliver on Broadway, I believe it was. So he had singing. So he already was a singer. I believe it was Oliver.
One of them,
but he was a Broadway star.
Maybe it's Dolan's then, because one of them they had to actually teach to play something. Maybe it was Dolan's on the drums. I don't know.
Maybe on drums. Dolan's is a songwriter and a guitar player. I
don't know.
Yeah. He may have had to learn how to play the drums. Yeah. Sometimes. I mean, and
he could have been guitar and an
And it's like some of the time there. Yeah. Like the actual studio tracks, the people playing like the drums or could have been, I think, interchangeable. In many cases, I think some of them are just studio musicians. Yeah, bringing a drummer or whatever. I think on those Monkey albums, in fact, I think I remember reading that there's a few famous cameo, musical appearances on some of those Monkey songs of famous like musicians that you would. I mean, it's like, that's, actually, even the Beach Boys.
Yeah, well,
Brian Wilson has. I've read so many things where it's like, oh, who's playing actually bass on that, or whatever, and you're like, oh wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, the Beach Boys, they had a lot of, and they're kind of uncredited. I mean, you'll never really even find them in the liner notes.
That's the thing. That's where you got to watch a documentary like The Wrecking Crew or whatever.
Oh yeah,
the unsung heroes of music, the studio musicians.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like you listen to those albums, you go, wow, that is a great groove, man. Listen to that band. It's like, yeah, those are like maybe sometimes uncredited musicians in a studio
hanging out in Muscle Shoals, and these guys just get together
out that groove. Yeah.
Another thing about the Monkees that was never really talked about, which is such a fascinating aspect of that group that blow people's minds today, is the story of Michael Nesmith.
Oh yeah,
I mean his mother, right?
Right, his mom.
Owned. She's the one who invented like liquid paper or something like that. And so
that's
when he joined the Monkees, he was, legitimately a rich man. Mm-hmm. And the heir to liquid paper or whatever, white out or liquid paper, one of the two.
Can you imagine? Like, it just would be so cool, Yeah. I'd just be like, somebody would be there typing in them. It's like my mom invented that. No, she didn't. Yeah, betcha.
Right. Something that's
bet
so
you $10.
It's so common. People like, no, really, she did. Like, no.
He's 76. They're all about the same age. 76.
Yeah, it's such an interesting story with the Monkees.
Yeah.
And I always thought with the Monkees that because they got kind of pegged into the teeny bubblegum pop stuff, do you think that they ever resented it? I mean, I know it got them fame, it got them money, but I mean, like Nesmith was a songwriter, Tork, all these they'd done some serious things and had some pretty decent chops as musicians, and I always wondered, were they just grateful that they were with a vehicle that did a lot of money and fame and everything, you know, the TV thing, or were they kind of like you know, the brother Carpenter, Richard, was it Richard Carpenter?
Yeah.
That always was kind of, you know, he wanted to be rock and roll, you know, but he got pegged into, you know, the whole Carpenter thing, and he always seemed to kind of like wasn't comfortable with it. I want to play harder music. I want rock and roll, and it was never taken seriously as a musician because, of course, everyone was looking at Karen Carpenter and her, you know, once in a generation voice.
You know, when you're talking about people guest appearing on records, like playing in the studio.
Oh yeah.
I just thought in my head the name Karen Carpenter came because you'd be surprised because she was a drummer.
Yeah.
And she appears
she was a good drummer too.
On different tracks.
Yeah.
Also of other people. There's and I can't remember what the tunes are. You'd have to go wiki. But if you look up, you'll find a couple tunes like it is like, oh, you know who's on the drums? Karen Carpenter.
Wow.
You're like, oh wow.
Wow.
You know.
Yeah, there's a million stories that I've remembered and forgotten over the years. Another place that was like a really hotbed of just creative stuff that you'll never know about in liner notes. The guys just getting together. Okay, we got to put together this sort of thing for this song. Why don't you step on and do it? Was Hendrix's Electric Lady Studios.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I guess people would just be sitting around in the rooms back there just hanging out. Hey Bob, you know, someone famous, Bob, come over here. I need you to lay down a little bass for something.
I know a little bit about that because I'm a huge Jimi Hendrix fan.
Oh yeah.
I love Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
B, one of the great rock albums of all time is Electric Ladyland.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's, to me, it's a masterpiece. I think it's a masterpiece. I mean, there's so many good things that Hendrix did, but I think it's a masterpiece of Hendrix.
Yeah.
I think it kind of dovetails because it's Jimi Hendrix experience, but the tracks dovetail into
when he left,
goes to the Band of
Mitch
Gypsies.
Mitchell and everyone else and did the
Band of Gypsies.
Yeah.
Buddy Miles.
Yes.
Is it Buddy Miles and
they don't get enough credit. I mean,
Larry Young.
Because it was towards the end of everything. But I mean, what a solid band. I mean, holy cow.
Yeah.
You know? What a solid band that Hendrix put together with the Band of Gypsies. I mean, all these guys were just
the recordings are great, and they are and they were also experimenting with 4-track recording and all of that. And you put the headphones on and listen to that, Voodoo Child, you know. It's like, oof. In fact, one time with a friend, and we were like, oh, you've never heard the vinyl on this, and your vinyl part, let's go review the vinyl. And it's like, turn out all the lights, light some candles.
Yes.
I was straight out
for the experience.
I was not. I believe
there was
I
no
had
altered
a martini.
states.
I probably had a martini.
Yeah.
I'm very Jack Webb in my vices.
Oh, that's right.
You're looking pretty high and far out. Yeah. But
just facts, man.
Yeah, probably had a martini.
Excellent.
But not anything harder than that.
No,
because I just don't. Homie doesn't go that way.
Right.
But oh my God! Just listening to the album, listening to the vinyl, listen to it on vinyl.
Yeah.
And with the lights that, you know, some candlelight or whatever. Oh man, you're just like, okay, this is an experience.
This is an experience. I've got an experience for you. Anecdote. This happened a few days ago. Great stuff. So I'm out with the family real quick, and kids gets up and says, hey, I want to run over to this place and look at something real quick. Hey, you know, fine, go ahead, kid. You know, we'll call you when we're ready. Yada yada. My 20-year-old son. And this is why I have so much hope for millennials and for the generation to come, is because he walks out with a turntable and a vinyl copy of Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, Dad, I got this for you. And I'm like, what? You know, holy cow. And so we went home. He assembled together. I actually had to teach him how to use a turntable.
Oh, really?
He had no idea, you know. You know, you need to take that plastic cover off. There's a needle there. You know, you need to take the plastic cover off.
So you got rid of your old turntables years ago. I did too.
They're in storage.
Okay.
I have one left.
Well, it was
but
like
I did get I got rid of pretty much every album I had, and I could beat myself because I had some really fantastic library.
Yeah, people like us were like, oh,
you know,
the CDs are tapes. CDs are. We're not going to need this anymore.
No.
But, get rid of the turtle. Get rid of the records. Now it's like, Oh, guess what?
Yeah, I literally at one point at the zenith of everything, I must have had 200-300 albums, huge library, I mean, everything jazz,
I still
big band, everything,
like
rock and
Electric Ladyland. I still have.
I'm kind of more of an Axis Bold as Love guy.
Oh, that's a great one.
Nothing. I do love Electric Lady. It's hard to.
I'm not taking away anything from any of Hendrix stuff. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's one of my and it also like you were saying follows along with there are guest musicians and people in there playing, and I have one of the first in the 80s there was a resurgence of Jimi Hendrix.
Yes,
happened to be which was I remember hearing his music, like all along the Watchtower. You go to the planetarium, you go, man, that Hendrix is good. Too bad he's not around anymore. But and you'd listen to it, and then there was a big resurgence. I think it was the anniversary of his it had been 10 years or 20. I can't remember.
Yeah, they'd come out with that Ultimate Experience CD, double CD, and it did huge business. And it introduced the next generation to Hendrix. Yeah. And they had totally remastered everything, and it sounded sounded beautiful.
When I was in high school, there was a record that was released, and it was like, we found these tapes somewhere. These tapes were around here, and he made hundreds of hours. He had tons of tapes. Well, we just found them. We put them on. We realized this is Jimi Hendrix jamming. So they turned it into a record called Nine to the Universe, and that was like the first record where they started finding, pulling old material out that had never been published.
Right.
And putting it on vinyl and releasing it. Now, since then, there's been a lot of
3 or 4 albums,
tons of stuff re-released from tapes.
Rings of Saturn or something like that.
Oh,
or Jupiter or something.
Yeah, I think so. So we got that, and it's really basically just jamming stuff. It's him jamming. And the story behind it is all of these, like you said, all these guys would, especially in London, would show up at his studio and jam. Yeah. People like, there's a great fusion jazz guitarist, John McLaughlin.
Yes.
Known for, his band is known for Mahavishnu Orchestra, which was this huge electrified, all instrumental band. Had Billy Cobham on the drums, for example. They were early 70s, and they were kind of like he had played with Miles Davis, in A Silent Way and all that. So McLaughlin was like a young teenager and was in the Bitches Brew band. Because Miles Davis. So story is Miles Davis saw Jimi Hendrix, and of course Miles, being a very restless artist, who he was, which was a good thing, was like, okay, I'm done with it. We're done. I'm firing the band or whatever. We're done with this bebop, whatever we're doing, because no one's listening to this. I want to get with the new stuff. That was what Miles did. So he kind of invented this jazz rock fusion. He's kind of the godfather of it, so to speak. And that's where he had everyone, Chick Corea, Joe Zawinul,
the Who's Who.
Yeah. What's his name? The other keyboard player, Jack DeJohnette. Anyway. John McLaughlin, all these guys. Of course, he brought in those I want like a rock and roll guitar player, some white kid from London or something.
And walks Jimmy.
Yeah. Well, he did. Miles and Jimmy did hang out because he was fascinated with Jimi Hendrix and his popularity and what he was doing, and apparently I think Miles said it in his autobiography that was his inspiration to start doing this jazz rock music. Right. It's not, no more bebop, none of that. We're gonna do this jazz rock type stuff.
Right, because people forget how much kind of an innovator Hendrix was.
Oh yeah, amazing. But they met and they hung out, and the sticky point for Miles Davis with Jimi Hendrix was Jimi Hendrix didn't read music, which is amazing. Yeah, considering that he could play anything.
It's all by rote. He would remember stuff, and he was one of those guys with almost an eidetic memory that if you played it for him once or he heard it once, he could automatically just play everything.
But
back.
He did not read. He did not read music, and that is just really weird. And for Miles Davis, coming up with a traditional background of jazz. I mean, he'd done stuff with the Gil Evans big band orchestra. He re-recorded. I mean, he'd done stuff with strings. I mean, arranged me and all that. And that was apparently the sticky point for Miles. Was like, well, I'm working with a guy who can't really, read music, but he's good. Because if you think of all the jazz guys, they're all going to be like,
everyone's taking notes.
I'll bring in the charts,
Yeah.
But then he did his whole fusion rock thing in the 60s. And then all these guys came out of it, and McLaughlin was one. But McLaughlin was like a teenager in London, and when Jimmy was in London, he'd apparently go down to the studio and watch or bring in his guitar and jam. Apparently, there were no tapes of that ever made.
Oh,
which was always like, everyone's like, oh, where's the tape of Jimi Hendrix and young John McLaughlin jamming?
How can you not be in a studio and not have tape running?
Well, he ran a lot of tape,
It's a crime.
but Jason, I mean, it's not like digital today where we can just, how much hard drive space you got? We got a lot, right?
Right.
As I look, and it looks like the recorder died. But anyway, but yeah, it's like, you know how tape was.
Yeah.
Tape was expensive.
Yeah.
We recorded on tape back in the day.
Right.
I still have the tapes.
Somewhere.
Yeah, I do. They're out there. Somewhere out there. They are.
James Ingram. Yeah.
Anyway, that was a heck of a rat hole.
No,
I was looking here. Yeah, Bet Nesmith Graham divorced when their son was 4. He and his mother moved to Dallas to be closer to her family. I'm talking about Michael Nesmith right now. Bet took temporary jobs ranging from clerical work to graphic design. When Nesmith was 13, his mother invented the typewriter correction fluid, later known commercially as liquid paper.
Liquid paper, yeah.
Over the next 25 years, she built the Liquid Paper Corporation. It was its own corporation into a multi-billion-dollar international company, which she sold to Gillette.
Wow. Gillette.
I didn't know that. I thought it was 3M.
Me too.
I thought it was 3M.
Yeah.
In 1979...
That must be Whiteout. That's 3M.
Yeah, that's right. There's Liquid Paper, TM, and Whiteout.
Yeah.
To Gillette in 1979 for US $48 million.
Wow.
She died a few months later at age 56. That's not a joke, but irony, And then he was in the Air Force. Joined the Air Force in 1960. He's he's an interesting guy.
Mercurial guy, isn't he?
Well,
you
read interviews with him.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like Brainiac.
He's very cerebral.
Yeah.
Very cerebral guy, yeah. And very.
I'm gonna go look at this recorder.
And he's I think he's one of those guys, if I remember right, that right after the Monkees ended, he was a little resentful that they wasn't taken more seriously as a musician. I know that since then he's kind of made peace with everything, and everything's pretty much hunky dory now. But if I remember right after the Monkees had quit being an entity, he was a little resentful and he did not do a lot of interviews too. He was kind of like, be quiet. And that's why, I'll tell you the truth, that's why when we were talking about it, it's like, what, he's still alive? I thought he passed away back in 1972, but he's I guess he's like, as Harrison was the quiet Beatle, I guess Nesmith was the quiet monkey. But that's another thing that sparked my memory when we were talking about everyone like meeting up in the valley and you're running into all sorts of people.
Yeah.
Is George Harrison. Back around the time, he was always out and about. He was the one accessible, I guess, Beatle guy.
Yeah, I think he and Torque hung out.
Yeah, that people like, oh yeah, George, we used to get together all the time and we would jam and everything. And because, Lennon and McCartney, those guys were so isolated doing their own thing that, old George was the accessible one, And I guess that speaks to his personality, though. I guess he's always been known and was known as kind of an openly, very approachable guy.
Yeah.
For a Beatle, one of the guys we put on Mount Olympus is, the gods of rock and roll. But
I restarted the recorder.
Oh,
It's just weird. It died a lot. I was like, huh?
Everyone, we're back.
That happens.
Yeah.
Rarely, but it just some glitch.
Hey, it may work out better when we do the greatest hits Comcast thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a backup.
Yeah. Maybe
it's not like there isn't a backup. There's a backup.
No, there's a backup to the backup.
Yeah.
But maybe we should mention it. I mean, a lot of people don't. We have a kind of a disconnect. People watch us on YouTube and or all the other stuff. But not only that, folks, we're on Comcast.
Well,
you can see our shows on there, and we do get voicemails from people that watch the show and everything. And
I know. Well, there's the voicemail right there.
Yeah.
And people do occasionally call in from places far and wide.
Right. Sunday, right? We talked about that.
Yeah, we had a voicemail from Ireland.
Ireland.
We could play it on here.
Yeah, I sat there and I was talking to the wife after, and because I thought that was just amazing, right? Ireland, right? And I always have that thing of, how in the heck did someone in Ireland, how did they catch a cable from Northwest, from Oregon on...
Well, I think it was internet, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that one was internet. But
that's so interesting. Wow,
oh, man,
it's humbling
I
too,
get through, and I only took a chance because I saw you online on Twitter, and I'm ringing from Ireland. Well, it's probably costing me a fortune on my mobile.
I love this guy.
But maybe I'll try calling
back,
another
man.
time, guys. Thanks very much, and love your show.
Well, thanks.
Maybe we'll talk again. Bye.
Bye. I love that. Bye. Thank you, buddy. That's awesome, man.
No, we like that. It's like you're always welcome to call in. And if you don't get us live,
hey,
leave a voice. I think the message says leave a voicemail.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it does. It says
right.
we're not in right now, but you can.
That is.
I think maybe I should check that.
Let me get my FM
it's
voice
not
again.
Like the was it that one or was it my Sam Kinison impression? Ow! 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 What are you ringing up? That's not how you do a voicemail.
But yeah, we do. We have a phone number, folks. If you want to call and leave a voicemail, and maybe we'll put you on the air. 503-395-5040. Once again, 503-395-5040. And it's amazing how many voicemails that we've gotten, right? And my favorite one is the lady, the qualifier. I call her the qualifier because she's like, I love your show. You guys have the best show on here for your time slot. And she slips that at the end. I just thought that was just awesome. And I'm always eternally humbled when people leave voicemails and stuff.
Hey,
yeah.
Google, stop updating stuff.
Uh-oh.
I know. I was in the Google Voice and it was like, oh, and everyone, they have a little button that says, do you want to use the older version? It's like, yes, I do, because I can't figure out what the heck I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's like same with voice, same with YouTube. It's like I have to, where is it? Where is it? I don't know. Like you can't, like, it's like the old stuff. They have all the things. You can find all the things you need.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about YouTube here too. The new interface, they hide everything. It's like, oh, where do I go to get this or that or the other thing? It's not just me.
Yeah.
It's like, stop it. Anyway,
right.
I'm just looking to see where the heck that, where did that thing go?
Yeah.
I can't even find where the message is.
In the zeal.
Here we go.
To do upgrades to make things more user-friendly, they change a lot of stuff, and a lot of things I fear change because I just get used to something. And especially someone who's technically, 2 degrees from a Luddite.
I'm just trying to find the message.
Yeah.
I mean, I can call it.
Call Ireland?
No. I'm just trying to find the
phone number. Yeah.
I can't.
Interesting.
Yeah, where you recall your voicemail message. Where you... man, this has now gotten to be like... I don't know. You know how you leave a message, right? Like, now at this point, you're going to dial this phone number here, 503-395-5040, and you're going to get pretty much this. It's going to be like, is this telephone on? I don't know. What? And then like, you know,
Yeah. Can you hear me?
like
Can you hear me?
like back in the day when your dad got the first voice answering machine,
Yes.
and it pops on, and it's like, do I start talking now? Like this is your
Gladys.
What do I do? How do I turn this off? And this is your phone message,
Yeah.
right?
Gladys, is this thing on? Is it on? What do I... You push the button, Tom. I don't know. I don't see no button. It's on the left. Okay, I'll do it. And next thing you know, beep, and that's the message.
Well, that's what I'm looking for, and I can't find it in I can't find it.
Yeah.
I can't find it. I'm telling you, I can't. Like it was here. There was a message that was once recorded.
Oh.
What it calls? Okay, off. Send.
I love it.
Switch. Send calls. I was just. Oh my God.
Do you remember when people after the newness?
Oh, here we go. Wait. Greeting.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
NuzBox 1, but where? You can't edit?
Hey,
Default greeting. Wait, what?
hey, folks. Do you remember
Here we
back?
go. Here we go.
When
Here we go.
Okay. Come up on the other
I
side.
think. Ooh. Well, apparently not. I don't know what's going on. Nope.
I don't know much about that voicemail.
I don't know, dude. I'm like sitting here, I'm sitting here. Here. Okay, fine. Maybe I'll just. This is driving me crazy.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
this is how I am. See, I'm your dad with the voicemail. Maybe we can hear it here. 503, right?
Mm-hmm.
395
395.
5040.
Yes.
Great phone number,
Great phone number. Yeah.
which I get mixed up with my other phone number. Again, I'm your dad.
Luke, I am your father.
Do you think we'll hear it here? I don't know.
As we go silent.
Is it working? Failed to connect because the number was unreachable.
Oh, that's
Oh,
weird.
for Pete's sakes.
That's weird.
Listen to me. Oh, for Pete's sake.
Ireland got us. Ireland. I
Is
love
this
the
thing
guy's
working?
accent too.
It's just now I'm just
Gladys, call the phone. Is it
503
working?
395 5040.
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
We're gonna see if this is working. This is our little science experiment right now. We're gonna see what's going.
Ugh, I have to push so many buttons. I'm really feeling old right now.
Oh, hey, we have a call.
Yeah. But I don't want to answer it, see,
Right.
so
Folks,
we'll
ignore the
just leave
beeps.
it like that, right?
Yeah.
I just want to hear if you hear this dumb message.
Yeah.
So and I put it in sleep mode
Yeah.
when we're not live. Except it wasn't. Okay.
Hello, you've reached NuzBox, home of Coffee with Curmudgeons and other fine podcasts. Please leave a message after the tone.
You guys suck. Now watch, it'll pop up.
That's awesome.
That's the message. But see, I did.
Yeah.
But I did say leave a message, right?
Yes. Leave a
Okay.
message after the tone.
I had to go through all that, and I don't even know how to change the message now. Like that's it, Jason.
That's
your
our message. That's it.
Yeah, sorry.
For all time.
Sorry.
Hey, if we got to stick with the message, that's pretty succinct and gets to the point.
You know what I used to do in the 80s? Okay. I mean, back in that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just such a bad person. My
Yeah.
girlfriend had an answering machine. And remember, answering machines were on the tape.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at one point, I was like this nerd dude that I had one of the first, like I had the computer system and the network in the house, and I had one of these cards. I don't know where I got it. I might have got a deal on it or whatever. Bought this card that you put in the computer, and then you had a voicemail system with multiple boxes.
Yeah.
And I had this crazy like thing where people would call, and it's like, if you want tech support, press 1. It would just be the same thing, right?
Yeah.
But on the tape machine, when she had the tape machine, I don't think I have it anymore. But I would make funny messages on the tape machine.
Yeah, everyone did that. Remember that?
Yeah.
It's like people could have fun with it, right? So they'd either do musical stuff or whatever. And
mine, the first one I made, it was in the recording studio.
Yeah.
Remember, this was before the digital stuff.
Okay.
This was all tape.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Literally tape.
Cassette tape, right.
Cassette tapes and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So I went through and got all these recordings of Jack Webb on Dragnet.
Ooh.
And spliced them all together.
Just facts, man.
So you'd call up and the answering machine would answer, and the first thing you would hear was bum 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 bum, and it was I said spliced together all of his best like little diatribes. So it started out with the okay, kid, you think you're pretty high and far out, don't you? Yeah, you're really wild and tripping out, and.
Did you get the LSD is the bomb?
Yeah. It was like this whole just of his best classic phrases. Oh. So I put that in there, and I did that one, and then so that was our answering machine, and we thought we were pretty hip and cool with our friends, but all friends and family would call up and be like, her mom calls, what? What? Is this the right number? What is it? And be like. Oh, brother. Your clients would call up and go, I'm looking for...
Right,
I was like, yeah, that's just terrible.
I'm not sure if this is the right number, but I'm trying to reach...
Yeah. It was back in the day when you make funny... They had a dial-a-joke. You remember that?
Yep, it was a thing.
Still there.
It was a thing.
I bet you it's still around.
It was that most definitely a thing. People got really creative after the newness of it wore off, and people figured out that you could actually do something more than just, "Hi, this is Bob, not home right now. Leave a message after the number." After the tone. People let's do music with it.
They had commercials in the 80s. They had a commercial with Henny Youngman. Dial-a-joke.
Henny Youngman did a dial-a-joke?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, this is Henny Youngman.
Oh, this is great.
Why not?
Steve Wozniak, one of the co-founders of Apple, has a blog post about Dial-a-joke.
Dial-a-joke, I love that.
8 entertaining and informative phone services that still exist. Exactly, 2014. That's what I wanted to find out. Do you think Dial-a-joke is still around?
We could lend our voices out for people.
Well, there was the weather. Well, we got the Alexa like right here, but the weather, National Oceanic. Movie phone, which is now online. What? Oh, is this one of those? Is this one of those stupid? Mashable. Come on. Open gallery. The weather. Podcasts. What? A company called Podinez used to upload thousands of podcasts to its website, each with a corresponding number. Though it doesn't seem to be updated regularly. Many phone lines are still active. For example, phone number to hear a 2007 interview with an up-and-coming Mark Zuckerberg. So a podcast company uploaded podcasts to a phone network that you could dial in. Yeah. Well, there was a very... In fact, they're still around. I'm pretty sure they're still around. You remember Blog Talk Radio?
Yeah,
Blog Talk.
I do. I kind of remember that. Weren't they on like...
the earliest. One of the earliest. They were a service. You basically were a blogger.
Yeah, they were part of...
And you wanted to make a podcast.
Yeah.
Okay? And you didn't know how to make one of the technology. You could sign up for a Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah.
And what it was is the people who founded Blog Talk Radio, it was a voicemail service.
Oh, okay.
Remember voicemail services, answering services, voicemail services, all the rage. Like I said, I had one at home that I made myself. But you could I'm Jason Allen and I need my voicemail service. And then you get your Jason Allen thing. Ah. Well, when they opened this up in the 2000s, voicemail was kind of like everyone has cell phones now and voicemail comes free. So the voicemail, people used to make tons of money on voicemail services, answering services, and all that before the internet. It wasn't that great of a business, or they kind of did it. So one of the founders had this bright idea of using their conference calling service You know, because they were also at conference calls. So it was like voicemail conference call, you know, all kind of wrapped into one.
Yeah.
And market it as basically a podcast thing. And this was way before people, like now, everyone knows podcasts and listen to podcasts. This was before anyone knew about iTunes or whatever podcasts. And so Blog Talk Radio was started. And I believe they're still around. It was very low quality. And you called in on your phones.
And you
set up a conference call. And you would do your podcast. Like you'd have, like you and I, we would get a phone number and call and sit here and talk and do our podcast.
Right.
And it would get recorded, and then you'd have a page, and it would get posted and with a link, and there was your thing.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I knew people who did early. We're talking over 10 years ago.
Wow. Yeah, the pioneers.
Maybe 12 or 13 years.
Yeah.
It did work. It was successful. My biggest complaint with it was the audio quality, because it was phone.
Right.
And so it had this really just kind of, oh, hey, what's going on? You know, that kind of.
Did it not translate with like bandwidth and stuff? Just the audio quality of a phone trying to get imprinted on a digital sort of.
Yeah, but that's a whole thing.
Gotcha.
Phone networks, you know, because they're massive, you know, would be digitized very low quality. Yeah. So that was my big complaint, because it was like, oh, we're going to start our first podcast. And it would be like, well, we could use Blog Talk. And it was like, I'm an audio guy. I like to, you know, and a lot of early podcasts were that I listened to, they were mostly like geek kind of things.
Sure.
They all sounded like that, like cell phones and using conference call. And, you know, I mean, nowadays you can make a really nice sounding conference call. But back then, it was just cell phone quality really bad.
Yeah.
And just me being the audio guy, I was like, I can't.
A low tolerance for it.
Love the idea that people can do this.
Wait for technology.
Hate the idea of low bandwidth. So So I ended up recording my own in a higher quality.
Yeah.
And then figuring out how to post it. Actually, it was Libsyn, the early days of Libsyn. Libsyn is still around.
Yeah.
It costs money, but they're still around.
Interesting.
They were like one of the earliest ones. But that's why I'm fascinated by this pod and this. I think I'll check that out. It's like, hey, I wonder if any of my old podcasts are on there. Ooh, horoscope reading.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised. Somewhere out there in the...
Somewhere. Right. You're just going to use that phrase all the day.
Right. It's probably still floating around out there in the atmosphere.
You know what we're going to do? Welcome to Crank Yankers.
Hey now.
No. Which, by the way, did you see that? They're coming back.
Are they really?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Me and my friends, we did that before there was a show called Crank Yankers. Before there was the Jerky Boys.
Yeah, Jerky Boys, that was
there
it.
was
Maybe it's Jerky Boys. Okay, wait.
Yeah. I have...
Oh, hello? Oh.
Daily Horoscope, brought to you by the Authentic Psychic Network. Join the thousands of people who benefit every day from our daily horoscopes and from the insights of our master psychic astrologers. Do you need a specific answer to a question?
Yes.
Is there something troubling you we can help you with?
Yes.
If you stay on the line, you'll be connected to the Authentic Psychic Network psychics,
tarot
readers, and astrologers who are available 24/7. As with all astrological services, this service is provided for your enjoyment and entertainment only.
I thought we were supposed to... I don't want to talk to somebody. I thought what this said was a horoscope reading.
Hi, Moonbeam. My name is Jason, and I'm having some specific
problems. We could totally do that.
We could.
What about Free 411? This was back in the day before Google. 411. Information.
That's right.
Information, please.
Yeah, I want my...
You can still call the time. You need to know what time it is.
Remember that in the old days?
Yeah, it's right here. Naval Observatory. 202.
Or what about on shortwave?
Eastern Standard Time.
The nuclear clock or something like that?
Yeah, well, Naval Observatory. Yeah. They have the time. They have the time. That's the... You're late. Oh, yeah, I'm calling the Naval Observatory, and I'll give you real time.
I'm not late. You're early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can call a number to get rickrolled. Never gonna give you up by
Never gonna let you down. You know, I saw.
Oh, you're kidding me.
I saw a really cool thing.
What?
Rick Astley was actually at a Foo Fighters concert.
Oh, no.
And Grohl pulled him up on stage and made him do Never Gonna Give You Up Live. And the band, as good as they were, they knew the song and they did it.
Yeah.
And, to love, you know, and so do I, you know, and stuff. And it's like, wow, this guy still has a good voice.
You mean the Foo Fighters know how to play? Like they could have maybe played that Super Bowl halftime and pulled up a Buddy Holly song in tribute.
I think it may have worked.
Yeah, I kind of think they would have.
Yeah,
moron vibe.
They should have put
number 7. Old phone services. Jenny's number.
Oh, 8675309.
What is this? Tommy Two Tones, perpetually stuck in your mind. Due to the song's popularity, fans would call 8675309 numbers of every area code, irritating users who happen to be stuck. Could you having that number?
Hi, this is Jenny.
That should have been our number for news. We should have got that for NuzBox.
That would have been, that would have been glorious. Oh my gosh.
Company 5 decided to capitalize on this by turning 855 into the Jenny line. Dial in and a snooty girl on the other end will say, "Hey, it's Jenny." Wait a minute. Naturally, I was going to go, "Hey, we should call this," but the last sentence is, naturally, the number is used as an adult hotline because it's about someone did something useful with this number. Yeah. Call Santa Claus.
Why does Jenny want to know what I'm wearing?
Yeah.
I don't like that. I'm not feeling comfortable.
You remember those?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Where's the dial-a-joke?
Now, if we're talking like 80s and early 90s, let's go to the big thing that was huge back then. You ready for this? Mm-hmm. Party lines.
Yeah.
Remember when that was a huge thing? Oh, my gosh. Hey.
Dial-a-dirty joke.
Hi, this is Henny Youngman. Welcome to Dial-a-Dirty Joke. Two penguins walking up.
Yeah. The whole thing about the party line thing is that's what became those sex chat lines.
Right.
You know?
Right, yeah.
People liked them. I never.
Hi, this is Jerry from Redondo Beach. Hi, Jerry.
Well, there's that scene in... there's been scenes in other movies, but I'm thinking I think it's in Shortcuts, which is a movie. If you've never seen that movie, it's a great movie.
Never seen Shortcuts.
Based on the short stories of, was it William Carver? The guy from Tacoma. Yeah. Really good short story writer.
Yeah. No, I've never seen it.
Yeah, Shortcuts, Robert Altman.
Okay.
The all-star cast, huge cat, one of these interconnected stories.
Cool. Yeah, okay.
Julianne Moore. Huey Lewis is in it.
Wow.
But I think it's that movie. I think it's Jennifer Jason Leigh plays a stay-at-home mom with her dirtbag husband. I can't remember. And what is she doing to make extra money? She's got like the babies and the nurse, and then it's like the phone rings. It's like,
hi.
Yeah, hi, baby. What are you wearing? Oh, I'm wearing a and she's like trying to feed the kids and all that. I believe that was a scene in the movie. It's like
that one Aerosmith video where the guy's on the phone talking to what he thinks is just this beautiful, sensual pin-up girl, supermodel woman, and at the end of the video, the phone clicks down and it's this lady with a hairnet, and she's ironing thing on an ironing board, and she's middle-aged, but she's got a great voice.
Yeah, I don't think we could call it joke of the day. I can't find it. But I find YouTube, funny joke of the day, funny joke websites. If I wanted a website.
Didn't we have a joke book here for a while?
Oh, we got tons of joke books here.
Yeah, just in case
I just wanted to call a phone number.
Right. I don't know what's going on.
We should call people just for fun. Like they did hi, who are you? Hi. I'm just here calling you.
Well, yeah, but caller ID now. I mean, they can see it coming a mile away. Like, Jason, stop it. I'm not stopping.
What do you call it when you take a picture of your favorite bookcase? A shelfie.
Hey,
that's the joke of the day for Friday, March 8th.
Hey, kids. You got to do it in that, you know, the sort of kiddie show. So, hey, kids, what do you get? You know. Anyway.
This isn't even funny. How do you like your steak? Waiter, how do you like your steak, sir? Mm-hmm. Sir, like winning an argument with my wife. Waiter, rare it is.
Oh, boy.
What? What the?
Boy.
It's...
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Sure. It looked good on paper.
Yeah. Hit that site. Dial a dirty joke.
Wow.
Dial a dirty joke. That's on YouTube. Well, there's videos of Dial a Dirty Joke.
I didn't know that stuff was still around.
There's a video about the guy who's the voice of Dial a Joke.
Wow.
Jan Lucas. 3 dirty jokes.
Man, we are missing the boat on so many things.
I know.
I did not know that there was still Dial a Joke. We got to get in this racket.
Maybe that's a NuzBox phone number.
Dial a curmudgeon, you know?
Yeah.
What do you want?
That's pretty good. Dial a curmudgeon.
Right. I could do like different voices.
Gracie,
you know?
get me my slippers, Gracie.
Right.
Ah, George.
Hey, look, I'm actually talking to Aaron Neville. This is great.
Dial a cover tune.
Where are you calling from?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like...
Dial Michael McDonald.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Who are you and where are you calling from?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, God. Well, you know when you get that stuff stuck in your head,
yeah.
and then you go out to the store or whatever, and sure enough, right there on the music is that thing that you can't get out of your head. It's like, you know, there's some cosmic principle. I'm sure physicists have figured it out.
Yeah.
Where like getting an earworm like a Michael McDonald or something like that, then some quantum theory that sticks and follows you around in your travels that day.
There's
like you're going to the Jiffy Lube or whatever to get your car.
And it's on the loudspeaker. You go into the store and it's on the loudspeaker. You turn on the radio. You just have them turn on the radio, and they never played it in a million years, but they play it right then.
See, this is our script for the new reboot of The Twilight Zone.
Ah,
right. This would be our script. This is what we would write.
Right, the mind worm.
Right. And it would just be like this lame song that I can't get that song out of my head. And throughout the whole show, the guy's like going to the stores, you know, there and there. The dentist, of course.
Oh,
you know,
you're getting drilled on and you're back there and you're oh my God. Right. Minute by minute. You're flipping through a magazine waiting for the doctors, you know. Minute by minute.
It would be like... It would be like the Twilight Zone where... It'd be like... He'd walk into a place, right? And there'd be like things going on or music or whatever, right? And it would happen that it would just be when he'd just sit down, get comfortable. Maybe he's in the dentist waiting room, grabbing like the highlights, Reader's Digest, whatever, Sports Illustrated. Ooh, look, swimsuit edition. Happy International Women's Day. Anyway, right? And then, boom, that's where the earworm song, it's the same song, right?
Right.
Like, just as he's getting comfortable or whatnot.
And it's got to be pervasive, something that's truly, like, just evil, like the Buggles video killed the radio star, you know?
I think a duet.
Remember back in 1982? It's like,
that would make it interesting.
You know?
I like that song, but if it was overall, it could just be Rick Astley.
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Or maybe Lionel Richie, hello? Hello, is it me you're looking for? Like,
that's one that... Well, you've been out there in the world where this has actually happened to you, where you've walked into a couple different places, and maybe because they're just using the same service or whatever. It's like you just walked out of Fred Meyer and heard Lionel Richie's hello, and then you go over to the Valvoline thing because it's, I got a little, it's 6 months, I got to get my thing right. Can you check the filter? Your filter, and
then bam.
Hello. It's like, really again?
Stop it, Lionel! Stop it! You know.
And it's not like when it's like a hit song and you go to the places where they have it on, you know,
the top 40 station or whatever.
Yeah.
It's always that It's always
it's K-pop on the top 40.
That's right. Hey, everybody. No, what's even worse is if you go to the supermarket that doesn't even have music, they got the music. Yeah. And so it's... It's even on the music. Stop, please. Or the elevator music, you know?
Yeah. Oh. It's the music version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Yeah. Do people still do music? Is that still a thing? I think so. Huh.
It's actually a thank you, Muzak TM registered trademark. Oh, I think it still exists.
Because I was always one of those guys.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm one of those,
made tons of money because it's all about licensing.
Right. I'm one of those quirky guys that always thinks of. Somewhere out there, there's a guy that's a musician and a songwriter, and his whole world, his whole life, his livelihood, everything he's done is music. Mm-hmm. You know, hey, that's me on the elevator. You know, and he's made a good living off of this because he writes or records the music in the music form.
You ask it because you just ask questions that I'm curious about, and then I'll just Wikipedia it. On February 10th, 2009, Muzak Holdings LLC filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. They were reorganized in September of that year. On January 12th, 2010. Mm-hmm. Bankruptcy court approved. What's happening? In March 2011, Mood Media agreed to purchase Muzak Holdings for $345 million. What did they have?
Wow.
Infrastructure?
Wow, $345 million.
On February 5th, 2013, Mood Media announced it was retiring the name Muzak as part of its integration plan. There you go.
There we go.
So it's dead, Jim.
It's gone. Oh. But if people our generation, that's what we call it, music.
Well, but
or elevator music.
Again, the internet kills everything.
Yep.
You know.
Thank you, internet.
Yeah, I mean it's like what I was talking about earlier about the blog talk radio.
Yeah.
That company, I remember reading, had started as like the conference calling, voicemail box kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they pivoted. Because they're like, hey, there's these bloggers and they like to talk to each other and stuff, aka early podcasts.
Yeah.
We'll make this thing called Blog Talk. It's like a talking blog. And it was very, very popular. It was an easy way to do a podcast.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. But I do remember that people calling on the phones, you call into a phone number and then you get your voice recorded and then it plays.
Yeah. Aside from, you know, whatever the quality is, that's what the infrastructure was. Yeah. That's fine. You either liked it or not, but it was still popular. It was a good idea, you know. Internet kills everything. I mean, now people look. What is music?
Internet kills.
What is music today? It's Spotify.
Yeah.
And Pandora. And they have commercial. You know, they have commercial offers. What people do not know. You and I know this because we're kind of the music and audio and arena.
Sure.
Is that businesses have to, in some way, compensate and pay for the music they play.
Oh, yeah.
Unless
the
thing that was always legal, which is why your dentist would have KINK on in the lobby. If it's radio, broadcast radio, the license is already paid for. And it's paid by the radio station and commercials and all that.
Cheap way to get around any copyright laws.
And that's the cheapest way to put public music on. Just put a radio station on.
Right.
You have every right to. It's not technically a rebroadcast, but you have every right to turn on a radio in your club or your business or whatever, and you're good.
Right.
As soon as you start playing your CDs or whatever, and there would be the ASCAP police. Remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Remember them?
BMI and ASCAP. They would, and they were RIAA.
I met one once. Right? I met one once back in the day.
Yeah.
I met.
Really?
And she was like, you know, very fancy.
Was he very fascist about things?
No, it wasn't. It was her.
Her, yeah. Happy International Women's Day?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. It was her. She, a very fine looking woman, kind of like the kind of marketing sales type woman. I think she was a brunette.
The button down corporate, very austere.
No, fancy, nice dress.
Oh, okay.
Right. nicely dressed, nice dress, maybe some nice jewelry, high heels, you know, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it was like, her was just like, oh, what do you do? And it was basically like, I'm the ASCAP policeman.
Oh.
I mean, it wasn't, that's not what she said, but she was like, I'm represented for ASCAP. And she was, this is my card. It's like, oh, what do you do?
Did you go quiet at that point?
No, it was basically like, I license music. And then I think a musician friend we were with was kind of like taking me aside and goes, she's like the ASCAP policeman. It's like, what?
Wow.
Yeah, she goes around to clubs and stuff.
Monitoring the
music that's being played and all that, writes it up and goes, here's your licensing fee.
Wow.
Your mechanical rights.
Oh, you're one of those, are you?
I mean, the number one thing is they go to bars and bar owners and all that.
Shake them down.
They put in the tape, the mixtape or the CD, not paying the license.
Yeah.
This is why Muzak existed as a company.
To
because they would bring you in the music you wanted to play at your bar or whatever. You would pay for that service, and they would handle the licensing fees and all that. And it was a network too. It was early, like a broadcast, private. I think it was satellite.
Close. I
think it was satellite.
Close something.
Yeah, I mean, but I think they ended up doing it via satellite.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Stores used to have the little satellite on the roofs, and it would beam down.
And it was a Muzak satellite. It was the network. I mean, private network. Before
what do they do now?
Internet.
Is it all internet now?
Yeah. I mean, some of those private networks still exist, but mainly, like, everything is just
piped in through the internet.
Use the internet infrastructure.
But is there still, though, those music services, though?
Yeah.
Like, if you're, like, you own, Bob's Hardware.
Yes. Because you have to do it because you can't.
We're in the wrong area, man. We need
I know. But, I mean, I think that Spotify and Pandora have taken over a lot of that.
Right.
You know, that market.
Right.
I mean, via streaming on the internet.
Yeah.
What they could do is stream Coffee with Curmudgeons. No licensing fee required.
You know, Coffee, the audio version of Coffee Curmudgeons, we can get on Spotify.
Yes.
It's actually somewhat fairly easy now to do that.
Easier. There's some... Yeah, I've looked into it. There's some,
but there's some services you can go through that can kind of pave the way for you.
But there's some legalities too. That with some of the services, there's a signing the rights away kind of a thing, and I don't know. Yes,
hard to monetize anything that.
But here's the thing about the ASCAP policeman lady.
Okay. Was her last name Jenkins?
Oh, quite possibly. I wish I would have kept the card because if I recall,
we could have called her on the phone.
Oh, I know. I could have been a snitch. I could have gone in. I could have got my brakes done, and it's like, hey, come down to Joe's garage. They're playing their CDs.
Hey, this is Agent Deep Throat. You are not Agent Deep Throat. This is Agent Deep Throat, and I'm down here at Midas.
Yeah.
And they've got on Air Neville right now. Really, they do.
They're playing a CD. Come down, write them up.
Here, listen. And you are not Agent Deep Throat. I am Agent Deep Throat.
Wouldn't we be the most popular men around, snitches for the music licensing industry?
Oh yeah,
that's like, oh man, that's worse than some of the worst crimes you can think of. That people are like, lock them up, put them away. It's like, I'm a snitch for the music industry.
Oh,
it's like, everybody would love you.
You would get a better reception if you went to some cocktail party and told them, I used to be a torturer down at Guantanamo.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my gosh, we're like, I do the ASCAP.
Ooh. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's exactly what I mean. That was kind of this whole thing. But it wasn't just that. It was then because it was like jazz friends, musicians, like you were talking about earlier, and they're like, yeah, she goes around too to the club and see what you're playing out of the book. It's like, because technically, mechanical rights.
Yeah, that is, you lady are a fascist.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I vaguely recall this too when, like, some of the club, like when I was in a band and we were playing the hits. Yeah. You know,
any top 40 cover band.
Yeah, and it would be like, oh, okay, well, what's in our repertoire here? Well, we've got the latest hair band MTV hits. You know,
we got Minute by Minute.
We were. No, we were Rat, and
Yeah.
the Crew, and
Van Halen.
Yeah. But technically, and I seem to recall there was some hubbub about that at one point. And then it's like, yeah, but we got originals, and we'd rather play those anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Could you really, though? I mean, was there... Okay, maybe I'm just... Let me plead ignorance on this.
Yeah.
Was there really like this ASCAP lady that would go around to different clubs and really just ticket ban guys that are just doing a really crappy version of, you know...
Yeah. I'm telling you.
Wow.
That's where it blew me away.
Wow.
Because then that's what the guys were telling me later.
Yeah.
They were like, we kind of don't like her. Just like, and she was like, again, very nice, you know, unassuming. You like, you know,
should have to be, right?
Yeah, good looking, you know, and all of that. perfect snitch.
Right.
You know,
you got to have the facade to gloss over the fact that you're
friendly and everything.
Yeah.
By the way, you owe ASCAP thousands of dollars.
Right. Have a good day.
Well, that was the thing, and they might have changed law or something, or changed practices, because here's what it. And again, this is like an older thing, but what happened is you were penalizing musicians who were barely scraping by.
Yeah,
this was not the message you wanted to send.
Yeah, and I don't think.
I think actually they might have still gone after like the venue owner.
Yeah, maybe not the band per se.
Maybe not the band per se, but it really did make things not good for live music. In fact, I remember this. The discussion was, is this going to kill live music? Because, you know, you can't even go in and do live music anymore.
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
This is some serious infiltration. This is like Cold War. Let's invade the SDS and get down there and see if we can hunt for commies, sort of stuff.
I mean, we're dealing with the YouTube, you know, the online streaming and online radio stuff. I mean, Jason and I have dealt with this.
Facebook Live algorithm of things. Yeah.
I mean, we had dealt with this at House of Sound radio station.
Oh, Sound Exchange, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what you use now.
Right.
That's what. See, it's become consolidated now with the internet.
It's like 5 companies or something like that now.
It's now all goes through Sound Exchange.
Yeah, there's a few of them. There's
which used to be, if I remember correctly, run by the Harry Fox Agency, I think. Which is where the contracts go. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. And, you know, people are like, well, but the artists who wrote those songs and everything need to get their money. It's like, yes, they do. But boy, there's a lot of middleman infrastructure between that performance and money and that artist.
Yeah,
ask any artist how much royalties they make off of their stuff.
And that's the main artist too. My big beef. Remember back in the days when you had like warehouse music and people go in and buy used CDs, and Garth Brooks went on this huge "don't buy anything used" because the studio musicians. You know, they don't see any part of that. And I was like, Garth, you hypocrite. Anyone knows anything about studio musicians, you're paid for hire anyway. You ain't seeing jack of any royalties. What you're really talking is the label.
Right.
And maybe the head artist, like Garth himself.
Yeah.
He'll see the chunk of that. But, you know, Bobby Brownstone, who plays, you know, bass somewhere, who got hired, you know, paid for hire, he didn't see any of that. Garth, you hypocrite, you know.
Yeah.
Or, you know, or even Metallica with Napster. I mean, I just had a real hard... I understood the premise of it, but I had a real hard time with multimillionaires whining about how they're getting cheated. Let's talk about ticket prices then. Don't charge $100.
They just... like the Metallica thing
but
and all that.
I understand the premise of it.
Well, all of that was like, you have created a PR disaster for yourself. Now
he's the most hated man in rock and roll
among your fans.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, yes, they're doing, and the whole thing. So the argument there, like the Napster and the Metallica and all that.
Yeah.
I remember that well. I remember it very well.
Yeah.
And here was the argument. Here's how the argument went. Okay, we've got this new technology. This is how people want to get their music. It was downloading, streaming, iTunes, you know, that whole thing. This was before iTunes.
File sharing.
Yeah, basically where, like, you know, that's where people get their music today. Now, we talked about the vinyl, and that's a special thing. That's fine. You can go do that.
Yeah.
And it's very special, and then that's a whole, vinyl is its whole other kind of artistic creative product.
Yeah.
But, you know, mostly it's like, hey, I want to hear that new, gosh, what was that? Oh, Solange.
Solange.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
And she dropped it. Right, where are you going to go get that? You're going to go download it.
Right.
And you can do that now. Now you got iTunes, Amazon Music, all that.
All that fun stuff,
Google.
yeah.
At the time, that's what was happening. People and MP3 players, the portable music players were around. Hey, we don't want CDs and tapes anymore, right? So make it so you can sell your music on here. And the just like tapes, cassette tapes and taping and cassette decks, every time there was a new music technology that people wanted to adopt, and this happened with people don't know, with the cassette deck, the music industry sued Sony. They sued everybody for cassette tapes because
like mixtapes and stuff.
You could, well, as soon as you get a cassette deck and a cassette, you can then go take your record and record the record on cassette
and give it to somebody
and steal it, right?
Yeah.
But you know, really what happened is the whole industry grew up around the Walkman. And by the time the industry was done with their nonsense and started updating and selling cassette tapes,
the medium
and
had
records,
moved on to something else.
well, they sold those really great cassette tapes that were high quality masters, sounded good because, well, do I buy the record or do I buy the tape? Because I can put the tape in my Walkman because everyone had a Walkman. It was portable music.
Right.
I mean, it was just about portability of music.
Yeah, you put it in your car, you put it in your Walkman or whatever, and you could take it with you wherever you go.
Legitimate portability. There were actually, I've seen them, you can look them up on the internet, record players for your car.
Really?
Yeah, no kidding. If you Google
what
it
if you go over a speed bump?
There were actually inventions where they had some record players for your car. You just can't put a record in your car.
No.
You needed a tape or the radio. So the music industry has always been against these technological, advancements.
Yeah.
And then that's what happened with the Napster and the MP3. Oh, the MP3. Oh, no, we can't do MP3. No. Digital license, all this stuff.
We have no control
Apple
over
sure
it.
figured it out. Yeah. But they drug their feet, sued everybody, went crazy. Metallica. And it was like, guys, do you understand? Your fans just want to load up your music on their portable player.
Right.
If you said, hey, go buy the legit music, and here's a good reason why, because the quality of these MP3s is better, all that stuff. Give them a reason. There's always that's the other thing. When technology changes and you're worried about the artist, there's always an upsell.
Yeah.
There's always, and it turns out people are collectors anyway.
Yeah.
They want it's like, you can have the free crappy stuff. You can have this, some guy rip this stuff and only half this track and it's low quality, which was what was happening back in those days. Yeah. I'm not saying all of it, but
you'd be lucky if you got a 128 CD quality stream.
Yeah. Oh, there was a bit error in that one track, so it doesn't even play on my thing, whatever.
Glitchy.
Right. But here, if you sell it, you back it up, and it was the same thing with the tapes. Well, you can get a nice Maxell tape and put it in and record that record. But here's one that doesn't have the cracks. I can't talk today. Pops or whatever, and it's what is it? Chrome steel mastered on with the double Dolby 3 on it or whatever. It's like this tape is gonna sound, and they got cassette tapes to sound as good as the album.
Yeah.
I mean, the early days of tapes sucked. Cassette tape.
Yeah, but like the 8-track and the other stuff.
But the technology got the noise reduction and the formulations of the tape, where it got to be where, wow, this tape sounds great, you know. And so that whole business really pissed me. Now it's not. There's no issue anymore.
Because I think the labels and I think the people who distribute the music, they finally clued into the point, and instead of fighting technology, embrace it and how to work it.
Power.
How to immerse yourself in it and make it work, rather than just let's go back to vinyl. Nothing new exists. Go away.
I think, I know people are dropping albums. Yeah. With multiple tracks. But I don't know that. See, I don't I think the reason the kids are getting back into the albums is it's the real album experience.
It is.
You know,
it's something tangible
rather than just. I mean, and there's always like the old days of records where it'd be like, oh, we've got like a hit or a taste of an upcoming album, so we'll release it as a single, release it to radio stations. Sure, they did that.
45s.
But I feel as though, and I'm not saying across the board. I know there are artists who are thinking long form, but I feel as though like a lot of pop music is, it's a single or it's a collection of singles.
It always is. It's the way the music industry was even back in the 50s. That's why they invented the 45.
But in the 60s and the 70s, when we were talking about these albums, you're talking about
LP,
we were talking about Electric Ladyland. You were talking about the
Dark Side of the
Moon. Pink Floyd being like, if
you
want
NES album.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if you want to talk about bands where it's like, you could pull hits off of a Pink Floyd album. Sure, they got on the radio, but really, if you're a Pink Floyd fan, you heard that hit, you like that song, but you're buying the whole album. You're listening to it front to back, the entire experience. Oh, this came up just the other day. Wishing You Were Here from Pink Floyd.
But the thing about
Animals.
I
love those albums.
Thing about Pink Floyd, though, is...
But they're made to be listened to.
They are. You had a radio edit.
And back.
They would send a specially edited version to the radio station and cut down the 4 minutes.
Shine On Crazy Diamond.
Right.
That's like a 14-minute...
Yep.
It's like almost the whole side of the album.
It is,
of that album, I think.
Or any
radio edit
early
is like...
Rush.
Yeah.
You know, there's some albums like Caress of Steel. You can't...
2112.
Yes. Right.
It would be like they'd have like an excerpt from it. Well, 2112 is an album rock.
Yeah, you had a radio edit. You had Bangkok.
Yeah, yeah.
And they pared it down, and or sometimes even bands, it got to be such a way that they would record 2 versions of the song, the long play version and then just the radio edit.
Yeah. I mean, it was we were talking about Peter Cetera in Chicago earlier.
There's another band.
A lot of the hit Chicago songs you've heard are all radio edits. Mm-hmm. I mean, Chicago was an album band. They were it was a whole idea behind the concept album. That's what they call it, the concept album. And you could argue what was the first concept albums. I mean, one of the greatest that everyone points to is Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Yeah,
the Beatles.
67. Yeah. I was trying to think when Iron Butterfly came out, too.
Also, Pet Sounds, maybe, by the
Beach Boys,
Beach Boys, you know?
Yeah, probably. You're right, the first concept, I would probably go with Sgt. Pepper, 67.
Yeah, but that was... I mean, we're talking about rock music, pop music.
Yeah.
When that became, but before that on vinyl, if it was a concept album, it was Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, right?
Jazz. Yeah.
Or jazz. Yeah. Exactly. Long play jazz records. Sure. Again, all those. Well, aside from maybe classical, unless it was a short piece like Chopin, Nocturne, or whatever.
Yes.
Right. Other than, even jazz started out just the technology alone, the 78 only could fit so much music.
That's exactly right.
Right?
Yeah.
As soon as you could fit more music on a record, then the artists could expand. And of course, with the jazz LPs, jazz records, or the longer play, the bigger... Was it the 10-inch 78, which could include like 4 songs, two aside or something like that. And then rock did that too.
Right. But it's the paradigm itself. I mean, think about it. Jazz, you've always recorded jazz. Jazz was never recorded to be put on the record. Jazz was written to be played live.
Right.
And so you didn't worry about time constraints, the 4-minute, 4:25 cutoff for radio or whatever.
But they did in like all those records because they would have to, like when Louis Armstrong recorded and all that.
Yeah.
They literally had to time. It's like, okay, dude, we're going to give you the countdown. You got to stop because we're going to run out of record here.
Yeah.
Right. Where, like you said, they wouldn't even think about that in a performance.
No, because they're writing to play live.
This is smoking. Let's keep going,
Yeah.
And that was the early days when they didn't really have modern editing. I mean, like the Victrola, almost like where they're cutting to an acoustic.
They would hit record and you just went
horn, you know. But
yeah.
And a lot of we were talking about Miles Davis. A lot of the Miles Davis LPs are edited and cut down from the recordings because they wouldn't fit. They just have to go, okay, here's where we're going to end the tune, or here's where we're going to make the edit.
You make it work within the time frame.
Well, and they've re-released a lot of those original tracks digitally with the long form, actual, complete version of the track.
Wow, it's way better.
Yeah.
Go figure, right?
But I guess I feel like people aren't consuming music like that, and here's why. It goes beyond the iTunes, and which are now just default.
Yeah.
But it's the Spotify and the Pandora.
Yep.
It's because that's like if you just, I guess you could tune it in and then you can get your artist or whatever. But it's like to me they're more like that streaming. It's like radio. It's a collection of songs.
Yeah.
You know, and especially if you get a station. Well, just like for Steve, if you said, "Oh, I want the Bruce Springsteen station," like in many ways, and again, I don't use these so much, but I'm more like kind of that album. If I'm going to listen to music, I'm going to sit down and really listen to it. Yeah. But it's more the if you, like say you do the Bruce Springsteen channel. I know if you paid for it or whatever you get, but maybe it would be a Bruce Springsteen song and then another kind of Americana artist song, collection of songs.
Yeah.
It's not a complete album thought.
Right, no.
And again, I know people, well, actually, you can use this on Pandora or whatever and do it. Yeah, fine. But I'm saying, as a general rule, I think that that's how people are consuming music. Plus, back in the old days, when people would consume entertainment, they would sit down and purposely consume the entertainment.
Yeah.
So if you listen to the radio, you would gather around, sit down, turn on the radio, and listen, and do nothing else.
Yeah.
Right? Back in the days when you listened to albums and stuff, you would, maybe somebody would smoke a little weed while they're doing it.
Who knows? Who knows?
In my case, maybe martini.
We don't judge.
Right. But you would sit and listen to the album.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Well, what are people doing today? I'm listening. I'm on my iPhone. I'm on my Twitter. I'm doing 10 million things.
But everything is soundbite now. Everything's in bites. In fact, what really came to my attention was the radio version, the single version of John Legend. You know, what's the huge hit he had? For me, I'm all for you, or whatever. And the radio version is 2 minutes and 46 seconds long. 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not even
that's
3.
about right. Yeah.
And I remember listening, I'm like, wow, that's just like one verse, 2 choruses, and you're out. And I was like, first of all, it hit me. I was like, well, this is way too short. You know, is that really? So I looked up his song on, the album version. It's literally twice as long. It's like 4 minutes and some odd seconds. Like, you just cannibalized this guy's tune just to get on the radio and stuff. But 2 minutes, really, 2 minutes?
And then what's funny is then you have
jingle
the
at
dance
that point.
DJ version, which is then twice as long because it's for the dance club, then it's like, no, we need to pad it.
14.59, right?
Pad it.
Yeah.
But this whole idea of the album, which to me really is the concept album, which the artist put together from start to finish. Like the songs are in order.
There's a theme.
There's a theme, you know. And when we're talking about like, maybe the Beatles or definitely Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
You know,
Deep Purple, yes.
I mean, in Electric Ladyland, it's. I don't think lyrically there's necessarily a theme that runs through Electric Ladyland. There's assortment of stuff, but the music flows from A to B, even to the point that there's a reprise of Voodoo Child.
Yeah, it was written to mesh.
Yeah,
One song will go into another song, so you get the whole kind of vibe, right? Because things...
You can kick back and listen to it and listen to the flow of the music.
Another band that was pretty famous for this, even though they came a little bit later, was Boston. Listen to the very first Boss Man, and when one just meshes right into the next song, which meshes right into the next song, and there's not that clear cutoff.
Any band that you could feature at your laser light show,
right?
Right, which would be probably an album-oriented, concept-oriented band,
right?
Yeah. Zeppelin.
There you go.
I mean,
yeah.
So I think that's where the resurgence of records and all that, going through the hassle of getting a record player, buying some vinyl. It's not portable. It's not modern. It's not.
But it's also
21st century.
In a world that's so virtual, that's everything's online. It's tangible.
Yeah.
I mean,
the album art.
I mean,
right there.
Album art was an art for art unto itself. I mean, look at all the just really so cool album arts that you could hang up on. If you put it on canvas, you could hang it up on some wall someplace, and people are like, wow, that's
Right. I know a band. You know some of the members of the band too. Local band here released an album. It is a concept. Like, they went into the studio and did the concept album, like back in the old progressive rock days. Double vinyl. They published it on vinyl. They did the artwork. They worked with a producer. The double album. Opened up the artwork. The whole 9 years. A modern band, 21st century, but they went for that artistic aesthetic. So, I think that the general rule is that's not how music is consumed.
Yeah.
But I think that's also why we see the resurgence in records and things like that
in a niche form.
Yeah. And I don't know. And that's why, that's why I think it's all Spotify and all that, which contributes to it. Streaming. It's like, just like the radio. Here's this song. Here's that song. Here's that song. Here's that song.
How do you? And that's one of the things I had to translate to my kid when he bought the turntable and Dark Side of the Moon and stuff. This was a whole new experience for him. I said, man, when you were a kid, when you cracked open the plastic, for the album, I said, man, you even had that record smell.
Oh yeah,
right. You had that the new record smell.
It could even make you a little high.
Right. It's like
man,
model glue, Yeah.
But
we were
Rush albums really.
They're potent, dude. We're album huffers, they're sniffing up,
Oh my gosh.
Pink Floyd sniffing up Deep Purple.
That's what we got to do.
What's that?
Great idea.
Okay. Ooh.
We're gonna have the Curmudgeon album record business.
Yes.
And now that it's legal and we wouldn't necessarily get in trouble.
Okay.
Or break too many laws.
Yeah.
We could put a little herb in there, right? Ooh. So you open up the record. Now somebody,
a scratch and sniff Curmudgeons album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody must have done that.
Wow,
in the past.
That does smell like Brooklyn.
Yeah. Somebody must have done that in the past.
I would
there must have been like a scratch. Yeah. At least it would be like, Cheech and Chong. It's like you open it up and a bag drops out and you're like, whoa, dude.
Right. And then
hey man.
Even in the album you can sniff stuff because you're gonna get the munchies after the herb.
Yeah.
Like, oh hey, that's Cheetos. That's cool.
You can put Taco Bell coupons in there.
Late night crappy Taco Bell.
Listen to our sports show. We don't just talk about sports.
No.
We talk about Taco Bell and some other stuff.
Sure.
We actually,
yeah. We move around a lot.
Yeah, you could put like coupons in there. Oh, isn't it great? You get this. Oh, look at this new reggae record.
Right.
It's ganja time.
Wow, man, that Peter Tosh smells good, man.
Even if you just had like incense sticks or whatever.
Oh, wow.
I bet you it's probably been done.
Yeah, it's gotta been. We can't be the innovators of that. I'm sure that
it'd be good though.
It would be good.
My record, old smoky jazz would come with a little bottle of premixed martini, right?
Right. Yeah.
Packaged olive,
Like, wow, that smells like a martini.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I'm thinking what mine would be. I'd try to mess with people though. You know, it's something they're like, what? That's what I would do. I don't know what I would do yet. If it's gonna be like stoner rock, then of course you got to put in stuff like Cheeto dust.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe some 11 herbs and spices of Kentucky Fried Chicken just to mess with people. Like, oh, dude, this album's making me hungry.
Well, I'm thinking of that because they did. You know, I'm thinking of they did cool stuff with album covers back in the day. Yeah. I was thinking of Andy Warhol album covers, like for the Stones, the banana.
Right, or the hologram stuff.
Yeah.
They do like funky hologram stuff, or a raised paper, like you could put your hands over, like almost like a album feel of Braille, almost, right?
Yeah, those are the ones that are collectible.
Yeah,
I think
colored vinyl?
The banana one was the one because they'd have it and it would open up or whatever. And in fact,
Stones had one with a zipper on it or something like that.
Yep. I think Warhol might have designed those himself, which later in reprint they didn't do because it cost money. So those are the ones you find in collector. I found my favorite one, and I had the reissue of it, so I didn't have the original. Mm-hmm. And then record collecting came across the original Brain Salad Surgery by Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Oh wow!
Which has you remember H.R. Giger, the guy who invented like the whole. Go watch the movie Alien. Mm-hmm. All his dark gothic art. Well, he did the whole cover design and stuff for Brain Salad Surgery. And when you unwrapped it, it opened up and then into. So the lady, it's kind of a gothic, weird Medusa-like lady behind it, and then there was like all the skulls and machinery, and then you'd open it up and there'd be the lady. And
wow,
my friend had that. I loved that album.
Yeah.
So, and that, that's that's when you want the collectors with that.
Yeah.
Real.
Certain
like
albums,
you said, with the zipper or whatever.
You remember the art as much as you do the music that's on the record, right? Because it's a visual imprint on your head of that album.
I just have this image of, I got the new Bob Marley record, and you open it, it's a double record, and open it up, and a bag drops out.
Right. Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, or just at least if it's not a bag, at least you're gonna get like resin, a little shake comes flying out. Like, sweet,
Here's the 1969 Mick Jagger letter to Andy Warhol about designing a Rolling Stones album.
Interesting.
Yeah. Here it is, right here. Rolling Stones, Ltd., Maddox Street, telephone, Andy Warhol. 33 Union Square. Dear Andy, you want to hear this? This is interesting.
Yeah.
Dear Andy, this would be in Mick Jagger's voice. Dear Andy, I'm really pleased you can do the artwork for our new hits album. Here are 2 boxes of material which you can use and the record. In my short, sweet experience, the more complicated the format of the album, e.g., more complex than just pages or fold out, the more fucked up the reproduction and agonizing the delays. Those are Mick's words, not mine.
Right. Don't blame us.
But having said that, I leave it in your capable hands to do whatever you want. ... And please write back saying how much money you would like.
Yeah.
Doubtless, Mr. Al Steckler will contact you in New York with any further information. He will probably look nervous and say, hurry up, but take little notice. Love, Mick Jagger.
Love and hugs, Mick Jagger, XOXO.
Okay, there you go.
That's awesome.
Sorry, I didn't know about that word in there, but...
that's Mick's words, not ours.
Yeah.
Don't blame us. It's Mick.
There you go. Mick Jagger. In his own words. I don't even know if that really sounds like Mick Jagger. It's an approximation.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And plus, I love his writing style, too. He's like trying to sound all formal and educated, and he just, it's all effed up. Mick, come on, buddy. But hey, that's Mick's vote. It's not us.
It's 1969, man.
That's the way it is, yeah.
But, So I mean, I think that's why that stuff is popular.
Yeah.
It's cool because I think the other stuff is boring.
I do too.
Streaming killed the radio star.
Internet killed the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's it's more fun if I want to hear a song, right?
Yeah.
If it's like, oh, remember that Bryan Adams, Tina Turner, whatever. It's more fun to me to go on YouTube and see the video and listen to the song if it's just the hits.
Because music today, especially the new artists, everything is so one-dimensional. You hear the song, you have no idea what these people look like. You have, and it's not a tangible experience. Whereas when you had an album or even on TV, when you turn into MTV, oh, that's what they look like.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. You know. I didn't know UB40 had white guys in it. You know?
This week on Behind the Music, unmasking Daft Punk.
Right. Next week.
Behind the Helmet.
That's going to be a curmudgeon special. It's going to be like Al Capone's vault. We're going to go like try to rip off the bicycle helmets of Daft Punk, you know? Here, get that helmet off.
Totally avoided it. I saw a really good cartoon joke about SpaceX. And their cool new spacesuits and stuff, you know, because now they have their own spacesuits.
So futuristic, too. I love those.
Yeah. And Boeing has theirs for their rocket thing that they're going to launch next month. Mm-hmm. And it was a joke about Daft Punk. Like, they're like, oh, man, this is way cooler than Daft Punk.
Daft Punk in space.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But that was the news, yeah.
Awesome.
There's so much going on. Maybe we'll talk about it on Sunday.
We got to
get going, but
Oh yeah.
I pretty much just anything I watched this week was SpaceX stuff.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that.
Well, because they launched their space. In fact, this morning, early this morning, it splashed down, and I was like, oh darn it, you know, I missed the schedule. So, but yeah, seems to have been a success. They launched a test dummy.
Yeah.
Named Ripley. So, and things were cool there. I think I talked about it a little bit on Sunday. And then
Ripley.
Then Jan Michael Vincent.
Yeah, I did not know about that.
Yeah.
When you said it, that's the first time I'd ever heard.
Well, apparently he died in February. and the birth certificate birth certificate. Death certificate was found by TMZ. And it was like, hey, did you know that he...
Did they just keep it from people? Like on the down low? Because usually publicists put that stuff out. And it just skip right by me.
Well,
which things usually do these days.
The Luke Perry thing, too. It was just like, boom, boom. Yeah, and then
Luke Perry. I asked you a question when we were on Messenger because something occurred to me real quick before we go.
Yeah.
You know, people when you grow older and stuff, you always hear about people's deaths, and especially if they were quote unquote our generation. Usually, when you're young, it's due to some extraneous circumstance, i.e., drug overdose or whatever. This hit me a little bit hard too, in a sense that with Luke Perry. I was like, man, is this the guy? I wouldn't say natural causes, but causes that people who, you know, when you get older, you get strokes, you have heart attacks, and that's just a part of life. And I was like, wow, am I now old to the point where this is the first time I can remember somebody passing away of more of a natural sort of thing? I won't say natural.
Yeah, you just don't know what the circumstances are.
But because usually when you're young, it's like an Amy Winehouse or something because, you know, you OD or something or this or that, accidents, overdose, some extraneous thing. Whereas this is just our generation getting older to the point where things like this are starting to happen.
Yeah.
Without rhyme or reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know because it's you know, they promised us in the future so many things.
Right.
One of which was his longevity, which it turns out is going the wrong trend. And of course they're blaming it on, you know, the drugs and all that.
I blame it on the Jetsons, man. Where's my jetpack?
Exactly.
All these cool things, you know, where you could fly around, you got the robot maids and everything. I want that. I was sold a bill of goods, and I'm not getting it. This is a lemon. I want my money back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's less... I think this future has turned out less to be...
Where's my flying car?
Yeah, it's not so much Jetsons and Star Trek.
Yeah.
It's a little more, I would say, it's more Terminator and Logan's Run.
That's what it's turning into.
Yeah. And RoboCop, maybe?
Just promise me one thing. You will wake me when we get to the Soylent Green part of the situation, because, Speaking
we're getting pretty close there.
Right.
Was it Ars Technica? One of them had this big article about
Ars
composting.
Technica. Oh.
Yes.
And what sort of composting are they talking about?
That would be human remains composting.
No,
there's actually companies that are talking about...
Humans are biodegradable.
Well, yeah, and why not plant a nice tree?
Right, yeah. Marvin's lawn looks good. No, that's really Marvin.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
there's composting. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so the Soylent Green thing is, I think it's just like only a matter of time.
Or the Omega Man, maybe. Some cool... But the Logan's Run thing, that scares the stuffings right out of me.
I know.
Because I'm already past the 40 point, man. They're going to be hunting for me any day now.
Well, yeah, we're was it Peter Ustinov? Yeah, was in that. We're like, it's like, I've never seen someone. Are you sick?
Yeah.
No, I'm old.
Old.
It was on...
That's Michael York, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's on Netflix still, but...
It used to be.
It was on Netflix, and I caught it. And I'm not sure if it got taken off early this month. But yeah, I hadn't seen it in years, so I had to watch it.
I wonder when they're going to make a remake of that.
They had a TV show,
really?
And I believe they did try to do a remake of it.
Oh.
Yeah, Jason, there's been a lot of remakes out there of old movies that you don't know, because and there was a remake of RoboCop.
I saw that, yeah.
Oh, did you see it?
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I heard about it. I refuse. A lot of these I'll refuse to see because it's, in my mind, it's Peter Weller. And I'm not going to do this.
Yeah, I kind of was like, I saw that and I was kind of interested. I was like, oh, RoboCop, yeah, that's... And then I kind of sort of read the reviews and whatnot. And it was like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it's like I kind of consider RoboCop a classic.
Yeah.
And so there's just some movies where it's like, don't mess with it.
I had to be talked into, and Happy International Women's Day.
Yeah.
I had to be talked into, not for the male misogynist, misogynist reasons or whatever, because you think, but I had to be talked into watching the Ghostbusters movie, the newer one.
Oh.
And it wasn't to do with anything, and folks, it didn't have anything to do with female casting. That wasn't me. I am the person that, if something that is, in my mind, pristine, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, Egon, who played Egon?
Harold Ramis.
Harold Ramis. Yeah. To me, it's crystallized. It is a mosquito set in amber.
Yeah.
It is forever that way, and I want to keep it that way, and I don't want it to change. It has nothing to do. I thought the acting in the new Ghostbusters was cool. Great, funny stuff, great acting. I like it. Things like that rub me the wrong way because I always hold it up to the original, and like I said, I like things, frozen in amber.
Yeah. See, this is the can of worms we could open and really get a lot of people at our YouTube channel, because that's what YouTubers do.
Right.
Bitch and complain about reboots and stuff. Right. And I can bitch and complain. I never did see that one. I like the cast, but I was just like, and then the reviews were very, very mixed and unhappy.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I didn't, again, it's just a remake that I wasn't like, oh, I got to run right out and see that remake. Yeah. No.
I cringe when I see or hear things on the TV. Hey,
there's tons of controversy, and I could talk about a lot of things. I could talk about like old sci-fi franchises, making new shows,
Discovery maybe. So, Doc, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about Discovery. You're right.
I know. It was like, do you want YouTube clicks, or do you just want to? I don't know. It's like, the problem is there's so many other people screaming about things on YouTube. I'm one of those people. It's like, do I want to just throw my hat in there, or just be like,
kind of gets lost in the cacophony.
Yeah, I mean, there's other people doing it and doing it well, and doing it and doing. Anyway, But yeah, I'm kind of like, find your unique voice. But yeah, there's a lot of that. You know, this.
But we do have opinions. We do have strong opinions.
We do.
But
I like the Orville. Man, that's a good show.
I dig it. That show. I gotta start watching the second season of it.
Yeah, it's good.
It was one of those things
You'll like it.
Hooked into other shows.
It's got interesting stories, and it still has the flavor of the humor. There is humor, but it's not all just a comedy.
Yeah.
It's got good stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like old Next Generation and all that. It's, you know, it's like for people like us that want to, gosh, it would be great to see something like the old Star Trek, The Next Generation, or Voyager, or whatever.
Right.
You know, again, and you know, so
or a new Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. Well, I would say less Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine was actually turned out to be a pretty dark show. Yeah. Good show. Very good show, actually.
Right.
Probably the deepest of all the Star Trek shows.
I agree. Yeah.
You know, by the time you get into the
backstory
multiple
of everything,
seasons and the war and sacrifices and all that, but, and the stakes are actually high.
Yeah.
Unlike other series where you're just like, 1 minute, wow, those stakes just seemed really high. But you know, it's a typical, the universe is at risk. Let's go. Okay.
On the other side of the commercial, it's now back to normal, and everything is like, wait a minute.
Oh, cool. Which, I mean, lots of sci-fi does that. I get it, but I don't know. There's just a lot of things. There's like that new Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah, I've heard mixed things about it. The real purists have a problem with it.
See, I
don't have a problem.
I'm not a comic book person, really.
Yeah.
So to me, watching those
We
Marvel
got to talk to
movies.
Doc Housel about this.
I know, we got to. We
And
should have
also
talked to her today. Hey, this would have been the perfect day to have her on.
Right.
Had we had our stuff together.
It is March now, and we are going to be talking about the summer movies coming up, so I guess it would be...
I got to watch a couple movies. There's a couple of those famous movies that have... And they're the comic book movies that have...
I don't watch them.
Yeah, I know. I kind of got tired of comic book movies, okay? And there's one movie I know we've talked to Doc Housel about that I still haven't seen, and it is universally critically like fans like it was a hit.
Black Panther?
Yes, there's that one.
I love that one. That is a good movie.
Well, okay.
That was...
I tried to watch it on Netflix the first time, and I fell asleep.
Oh, Black Panther?
Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
I know, and people are like, "Well, you didn't tell me." It's like, no, dude, I just kind of got tired of superhero this and the people flying around and stuff.
I can't agree more for the most part.
And I gotta, yes, I know. I was like, I'm always like, I gotta go back and watch that one. It's still on Netflix, but I gotta be in a mood. Like, here's the thing: when I am gonna sit down and watch a movie, it's like you get to sit down and watch a movie.
Yeah.
I go up on Netflix and it's like, oh, Logan's Run is on. I haven't seen that since I was a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's what film noir movie is on that? It's like,
the Third Man.
No, what did I tell you? Yeah, what did I tell you?
Or the Thin Man. Remember you sent me this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What did I tell you the other day? Like, oh, I could watch Black Panther, or what it was? Strangers on a Train, Alfred Hitchcock.
We're going for Strangers on a Train
just like,
every time.
You know what? I'm going for Strangers on a Train. Sorry, kids.
Yeah.
Alfred Hitchcock and his movies are considered top-notch cinema.
Yep. Yeah.
And it is, and it shows. Yeah. That was a good movie, too. And I'm a huge Farley Granger fan.
Ah, yeah.
Because he appears in, at least two?
Two Hitchcocks, at least.
I think he was in a third one. I can't remember.
North by Northwest? Was he in there?
No, he's not North by Northwest. But he's of course in Stranger on a Train, and he also was in Rope. He's perfect because in both those movies, the stuff that happens with him, which involves murder, he was so good at being that nervous guy, like, hey, murder, hey, you're being framed for murder, hey, and it's like
jittery.
Yeah, and he had that great thing. A little bit better in Stranger on a Train because he's trying to figure out how to own the situation and get out of the situation. So he has some real powerful moments there. In Rope, he's just basically like freaking out.
Could we find a mashup for Strangers on a Train and Snakes on a Plane?
No. But
no, we can't.
But they did.
Yeah.
But after I watched that, the movie I really wanted, and I haven't seen it in years and years and years, Throw Mama from the Train.
I love that movie.
Because they
I love the lady.
They use Strangers on a Train.
Yeah.
As the premise. They even if you remember, intercut some scenes. Farley Granger scenes.
There's a lot of, remember even the thing of crisscross.
Yeah. Yeah, they use that from Hitchcock's Stranger on a Train in Throw Mama from the Train.
Yeah.
So they keep going. It's kind of, I think it's happening in Billy Crystal's mind, and he keeps flashing back to the movie Strangers on a Train, and he's like, crisscross. You do my murder, I do your murder.
The mama, she made that movie. I fell in love with that lady. Her acting was just great.
I haven't seen it.
Or was it Irwin?
I can't remember. My favorite.
Coming, Mama.
One of my favorite scenes comedy scenes in a movie is the opening of that movie, the beginning of the movie, because Billy Crystal is a writer, and of course his day job is teaching a writing class, a creative writing class, like I want to say at a community college or somewhere.
Right, they get the coffee table book of people he wants to,
Yeah, and so it's like a community college. So there's a lot of, it's not like necessarily young people. It's like retirees. It's that community college vibe. It's a creative writing class, right? For people, I think I'm going to take a creative writing class in my retirement, and his students, and so they're in there sharing their writing, and like you said, one of the guys is like.
The coffee table.
And he's got the papers, like they've turned it in, and it's like the guy's like, people I'd like to stoop.
Yeah.
And Billy Crystal's like, it's creative writing class, right? And he's like, and the guy's like, well, I'm thinking more of like a coffee table.
I love that.
Yeah. And the one I really like is there's a lady in there, and she's basically she's essentially kind of writing like a Tom Clancy Hunt for Red October, but she knows nothing about submarines. So it's like, and then Bob went down to the engine room and turned that one knob there or whatever.
He's like, can you expand on that knob? What is that knob? What does it do? What is its function?
And Billy Crystal, as the instructor, is trying to explain to her gently, because these are his students, like, usually when you write a procedural that's specific to, like, for example, your story's set on a submarine, you actually have to do research on how submarines work and work that into your story.
What is it he's reaching for, really? I mean,
but like she's just describing the machinery and with like knowing nothing.
Yeah.
And what makes it funny is, like, the whole scene is perfect creative writing class. Like, they're actually laying out, like in that case,
there's tons of tropes that
if you're you have to write what you know. If you're going to write about airplanes or something, like, and the example would be like Tom Clancy.
Right.
One of the reasons Tom Clancy is so popular is he's very detailed about the technology. The Hunt for Red October is. I mean, there's a lot of stuff about submarine warfare in there.
He was in the weeds.
Yeah. If you write a historical drama, you actually have to go study the history.
One would think.
If you write 50 Shades of Grey, wait, what happened with that? Whatever.
Right. What do you have to know that? Nah. But I love those.
Just wear a blindfold.
Here, hold this whip. Oh, okay.
I haven't read it and I haven't seen the movie, and I don't think I ever will.
Refuse it. The wife loved it.
Oh, yeah.
I have not seen it, nor do I want to.
Yeah.
Evidently, they've made a whole franchise out of it.
Yes,
There's like 4 books now or something like that.
And movies, and the last movie got panned a lot or whatever. Yeah. It's like, I don't know, whatever. Yeah. It was written, where it was written? At your house. No. That was just silly. You just looked at me with that look.
Oh, my God, this looks familiar.
It was just, I couldn't resist it. It was like an old school comedy moment.
Right.
I couldn't. It was just like the look on your face, and it was like a sitcom. It was like, all of a sudden we're John Ritter or whatever. Yeah. No, it was written at the Heathman Hotel.
What?
Yeah, I think the guy was writing it. There's something about I saw this presentation about that book and the Heathman Hotel.
Wow.
And I don't know, having not read the book.
Things are going down at the Heathman.
Having not read the book, I don't know if it's actually the Heathman Hotel is maybe actually named in there by name, but there's like a hotel room and stuff, and it's all at least based on the Heathman Hotel.
And if you're the general manager for the Heathman Hotel, do you really want that sort of thing? Like, actually, this is going on in my place? Holy cow.
Actually,
you probably do because it's free advertising.
Yes.
But
because the people who were giving the presentation were the management people of the Heathman Hotel, and they were very proud that 50 Shades of Grey they had it.
Look, we're on page 152.
No, to the point where they had the 50 Shades package.
Oh, man.
Yeah, something like that.
You know, how many poor husbands and boyfriends got dragged to that? Come on, honey, we're going to have the experience. Like, do they even have a wet bar there? Do they have a mini bar?
Yeah, they do. They actually have a very nice bar. I like the Heathman. I hung out at the Heathman. I was like, I had no idea about this BDSM bit here. But
yeah.
Instead of like rose petals on your bed, it's
nails.
Yeah.
Wow. I'd hate to see what the turn down service is. It's not no chocolate that's on the pillow. That ain't chocolate, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You mix up the two packages, the honeymoon package and the 50 Shades of Grey package. Honeymoon package is petals, rose petals, and a little Canterbury Europa playing in the background.
Yeah,
50 Shades of Grey, it's a bullwhip and some Blackie Lawless.
Right. It's speed metal and oh
Wasp.
Man. I'd be, to tell you the truth, and this I'm going to get a little racy here, but I'd be 50 Shades of pissed off if I had to encounter that.
A little Udo Dirk Schneider.
Yeah, except balls to the wall. That song suddenly makes sense now.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I can't remember. It doesn't matter.
Udo Dirkenschneider, yeah.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorites.
Love it. He's still around, by the way.
He is?
He still is.
He is. And a matter of fact, I was just going to say, because, again, in my entertaining YouTube searching, I believe, you get this, I came across a relatively recent live video, like in the last few years, like in this decade-ish, in the 2000s, of Udo and I can't remember who else it was doing a duet on stage.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's up there.
And look at that, we dovetail right back to the duets.
Exactly.
Udo.
Oh, that would be perfect.
Right.
Well, you love me.
Yeah.
Balls to the walls, man! You got your ball to the walls.
That's right. Minute by minute. Balls to the wall.
Was it fast?
I don't know.
Was that Fast as a Shark or was that Blackie Lawless? I can't remember. Fast as a Shark.
I don't know.
I get it mixed up. It was either Accept or it was Wasp. I can't remember.
Yeah. Well, Balls to the Wall, that's Accept.
Balls to the Wall is Accept.
Yeah.
I Gotta Be Somebody was
that's Wasp.
Wasp.
Yeah.
But Fast as a Shark.
I think that's Accept.
I think that's Accept too.
Yeah.
But that's why I was kind of like in my head. I was like, was that Wasp or was that Accept? I think it was Accept.
I'm pretty hip to the Wasp stuff. Have you seen Blackie Lawless lately?
Yeah, we did a whole show about him, right?
That's right.
It's called I Love.
I love
what was it called? I Love Lawless.
That's right. I Love Lawless.
The graphic.
Yes. I just crack up every time I see that.
Yeah.
That just cracks me up.
Yeah, we oh gosh, we got to dig that one out. We got lots of, this show is interesting, but we've got a lot of pretty decent shows. And if someone, which always ends up being me, gets his act together and edits together cuts of, cutting it down to the good stuff, cutting it down, it'll be on cable.
Comcast, yeah. And they keep bugging too, still, right? Hey, when are you going to send it another one?
Yep. But they had, TV has this thing like time slots, like half hour, 1 hour. Yeah. It's not like just bring in 3 hours and 42 minutes worth. That works great with our scheduling. Thank you very much. Yeah. Right.
We're like the Deep Purple. We're like the Pink Floyd of internet streaming.
We are. Deep cuts.
Every show's a concept show.
I didn't even ask you about your. I was going to start with asking you about your evening, but we got to kind of wrap it up, right?
Yep. I'll just say this: went good. place. There a lot of people showed up.
Yeah.
There were a lot of listeners, which I was really surprised.
Yeah.
And it went off without a hitch.
The live show.
The band was
good.
The pizza was good. The people were good. And
You survived it.
And I survived it.
I didn't think you were rolling in here today.
No, I survived it. Yeah. I was ready to do some curmudgeons.
Yeah. You had the Ghost Conference people.
Yeah. They're cool to talk. We had Aaron, which we had on this show.
That was a great show.
He was there.
That was a great. That's one of my. Well, I don't like to pick favorites. It's like picking your favorite child. Yeah. But I really enjoyed the Aaron from the Ghost Conference.
That was a good show.
We got into all the stuff.
My favorite is when Shanna read your aura.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. They're all good. But you know why? Because anytime someone gets into the spirit box with me, then it's like, wah!
Right, the spirit box.
I love the spirit box. I hate the spirit box.
It's a love-hate relationship.
Scares the crap out of me. It's
like
it's like a roller coaster. It's like, I hate roller coasters. I'm going to get on that thing. And
it's an unnatural thing. Spirit box. I'll tell you the other one really quick.
Did they bring a spirit box?
Ouija boards.
Yeah.
For some reason, they just creep me out, man.
The combination of both would be excellent. Oh, and creepy dolls.
Oh.
The little speaky creepy dolls.
Those get me. We even had one in the little in-studio thing that one time. That
nice.
That was
nice.
That got me going a little bit.
Yeah.
It was off in the corner, and it would make these little comments, and you're like,
yes.
And it was just off thing where you could just barely hear it. It's just real, something's going on here,
Did it whisper?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. It's like, I kept looking around, what's going on? I can't see well, and things are creepy, man.
You're messing with the black magic.
Right.
I know, man.
I was 50 Shades of Scared, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. We still have not executed on our plans in that regard, by the way.
No.
We have talked offline about those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Remember, like, hey, you know what? We should do a show.
Yeah. Something to think about.
Maybe we'll combine it with the Sunday show. Jay-Z will come in and it's like, guess what we're doing? Paranormal sports now.
Right. It's going to be an exorcism show.
Yeah. Zombie Joe Namath.
Ooh. That does have promise. I think tonight, though, I'm going to be going home and doing a Muppets thing.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Graphic Muppets. I'm going to turn this into Muppets.
The graphic Muppets.
We're going to be
That
Muppets.
was an unfortunate movie I watched.
What?
Last year.
What's that? The Muppet thing?
Yeah. That Muppet Murder or whatever. And it was graphic Muppets.
Oh, the Happy Town Murders or whatever? What was that like? Was it bad? Because I heard it's actually really funny if you're into that sort of... No?
I did not, in all my years... Growing up with Sesame Street, watching the Muppet Show.
Yeah.
In all my years, Jason, I did not need to actually witness a Muppet orgasm.
That's what I heard. I heard it's so twisted that it blows your mind.
I was like, I'm out. You've desecrated the one good thing left in my life, Kermit the Frog.
And they did it happily, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just like, no. I'm obviously not, like, I'm not a prude or anything.
But there are some things, you just don't want.
There's just some.
But I heard about that,
make,
and people said, man, the whole thing is just so twisted.
Yeah, it definitely was.
So
I mean, you might, some other person might like it. I was just like, I don't know. This isn't working for me. It just, again, maybe, I don't know. I think, you know what about that movie? I think for me, it would have been better if it was, and then, I understand it breaks did we talk about it? I think we talked about it at the time, but I think it would break the premise, but I think it would have been better if it would have been like all Muppets, period.
Oh, instead of like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit half human.
Yeah, like Melissa McCarthy in it or whatever.
I like her, though. I like.
Yeah.
She cracks me up.
I mean, I don't know. I saw the movie and I was like, but I mean, yeah, if it would have just been straight like this, you know, fantasy world, no humans. And I realize the Muppet movies have. See, I like the Muppet movies.
I do too.
Yeah,
I do.
I even like that. Oddly, that last one or whatever, and I know that one was. I don't know, when did I see it? I saw it with. I saw it with. I know who
the Muppet movie.
Yeah. I mean, not all of them are great, but they're watchable.
Yeah, they're entertaining.
They're pure.
They're pure.
They're.
Now I got to go see this thing just to, you know, just to witness.
Surprised it's not on Netflix yet or something.
It's got to be somewhere. It's been out now for what, almost a year.
Yeah.
So it's got to be somewhere, and I'll find it.
I don't know what the age range would be, but
no, it's adult.
Yeah.
And 11-year-old kid. Can you imagine my 11-year-old daughter? Oh, Dad, you like
no.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
What's happening there? It's like no.
What are they doing to Elmo?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, I like the South Park guys. Matt and Park, you know.
Love South Park, yeah.
Team America was brilliant.
I love Team America.
You know,
marionettes will never be the same.
Yeah, and I love Jerry Anderson. I love Thunderbirds. I love all that stuff. Well, Team America was brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, they have a brilliant sense of humor. But this, I don't know.
This one's kind of over the edge.
Yeah. Maybe if...
They went to that one place.
Well, maybe it's just like it partly was kind of there over the edge, right? It partly was kind of in that Trey Parker, Matt Stone, but then other parts not.
Yeah.
And it's like with them.
Yeah.
You go all in with them.
Yeah.
There's no, you know.
Yeah.
There's no middle ground with the Trey Parker, Matt Stone movie.
Yeah, they pull no punches, but it's in their own unique style. So you kind of
just dive in and you know, ready for everything.
I'm gonna have to watch this movie now just to you know, check it out.
I'm sure people. I think the person I was with kind of liked it and thought it was fun. I was just like. Just that opening, I was like, and I was eating popcorn too, and even then I was like, God, suddenly I'm not so hungry anymore.
I can't believe they did that to Muppets.
I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, there's a time to watch a Muppet movie or reruns of the Muppet Show, and there's a time to watch Pornhub.
Right.
The two don't
mesh.
Don't mesh.
Well, I got an idea then. I think Sunday show should be Jay-Z watching the Muppets.
Oh, no.
Seeing his reaction live.
No. Once was enough for me. I was just like pretty much like, okay, seen that movie. Moving on, you know.
No 50 Shades of Muppet?
Yeah. No, that would be the sequel.
Right. 50 Shades of Muppet.
Yeah. I mean, it just, I don't know. And it was how was it? That's Jim Henson's son, right? That did that, right?
John Henson.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is it was controversial because it's like you're desecrating your father's. I mean, I know that there was, you know,
but if I remember right, there was something like, you know, he said something about, you know, I know my dad, I know his sense of humor, and I think he would have. I think he would have grudgingly. Liked it, you know, just because it's almost like you took this thing, it's your kind of your homage, but then you just hit it over the head with the shovel, and try to bury it out in the garden,
like therapy, like a son's therapy. Thanks, Dad. The dad that I didn't know. I'm gonna desecrate your freaking creative legacy. Ha 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 ha. Right.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, he's working through some stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's his prerogative if he inherited the IP. I mean, you know,
he's going there.
Plenty of Muppet.
He's going there.
You can watch that's out there. You can watch reruns of the Muppet
Happy
Show.
Time Murders.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Thought I'd never hear that.
Sorry.
Title of a movie again. I don't know.
Anyway,
There is one movie I want to go see. Actually, I now with all the kind of controversy and this and that and the whole thing, I am kind of curious about going to see Captain Marvel. Actually.
Yeah. Captain Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah, I am actually, and universally, even people who are angry or whatever. Yeah. The one thing that everyone says, Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh yeah.
Bring it home again. Nick Fury, and they de-aged him because it's set in the 90s, so that he looks
little CGI thing to make him all nice. That's cool.
Make him look young.
Like pop culture young.
Nick Fury.
Oh yeah, Nick Fury.
Well, the thing I don't think I may not like if I go watch that movie is because it's set in the 90s. There's all these 90s references, and the whole soundtrack is 90s stuff, and you're gonna be like
half grunge, half
But anyway, but the one movie I think it's still playing because this is like the 50-year anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing coming up.
Yeah, 69.
This July.
Yeah.
So there's a brand new documentary called Apollo 11 in the theaters. It's in IMAX in the theaters. This is these guys who made the movie, and maybe gals, I don't know, but they went into the archives and found the large format. They found out that basically someone, NASA or whatever, shot wide like the 70 millimeter stuff of the mission, not necessarily at the moon, but like of the launch and all of that, like the 70 millimeter stuff, the big format stuff.
Yeah.
And because they didn't have the editing material or whatever, they filmed it and then just shelved it and forgot about it and put it in the archives.
Wow. So they unearthed
So these
all the
filmmakers came and unearthed all of the original footage in this wide format, which means, wow, this is... And so the pitch for the movie is, you've seen Apollo 11, the moon landing, you have never seen it like this before.
Interesting.
They've gone back, restored all this film digitally and all that, made it into the IMAX format. And so you can see.
That is so interesting.
And it just follows the mission from the beginning, following the astronauts around, them getting ready, them launching. It's just pretty much the narrative is it's the Apollo 11 mission, but in this big IMAX.
50 years ago.
Yeah. And apparently I heard one of my nerd YouTuber who talks about the space program, really good guy, Scott Manley, if you want to watch a YouTuber, does great stuff about space, and he went to see it, of course, and he said like it's the footage being this film and footage was so awesome to see, like it is like you've never seen it before like this. Yeah. So that's a movie I want to go see.
Awesome.
Apollo 11 documentary.
Excellent.
So
So we come back Sunday?
Yeah.
Do a little sports action?
Yeah.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah, we should get going. It's still dang cold down here.
It is.
It's warmed up.
It is a little cold.
Oh, man. I'm freezing. Yeah. I mean, we went through that whole period where it was like 29 degrees and snowing every day.
Right,
so we complain.
Yeah.
But I like to
Closing thoughts?
I don't have much. We can come back.
I'm
totally just like... I mean, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just sitting here. How do we do this?
Yeah.
Go
look into the camera.
Yeah, go check out our show, our Sundays.
Yes,
especially last Sunday, I thought was
pretty good. I enjoyed it. Yeah,
and when we went,
he's getting into the groove of things. He's doing well.
And I think it was okay when we went off book a little bit, not talking about sports and just talking about some other things.
Yeah,
I think we were.
Well, sports does dovetail into entertainment, which dovetails into a lot of different stuff. I mean, you can really get some decent segues.
We just wanted to highlight the fact that you can live and survive off of Taco Bell sauce packets.
You can. And we're going to prove it this Sunday.
Oh, God, yeah. Anyway. All right, man. I guess we'll be back on Sunday.
Oh, yeah. I love doing the little box thing. It's going to be cool. Uh-huh. It makes me feel like
maybe we'll get your update of last night's update on Sunday.
Okay.
I totally forgot.
I'm going to talk about it, yeah?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, you can tell us what's going on.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
Excellent.
All right. This is just weird.
Well.
Okay. Yep.
Toodles, everybody.
Say goodbye, Gracie.
Hey, good night, Gracie.